Well, there's only been a couple of things going on, just one or two.
Yeah. And as always, we've had so much communication from Respawn to know whether he's actually going to be here today or not. So, yeah.
Maintain the mystery.
He maintains the mystery over his stream actually working, us being able to be heard, and now him actually showing up.
Whether he'll be here or not.
Yeah. Again, if I remember correctly, I think he's on the West Coast, so I think it's like 6 a.m. his time, which again, had he communicated, we could have done something about. However, as he has not, we have not. Thus, we are here at your regularly scheduled time. Same bat time, same bat channel. There may be a respawn.
It's 8 in the morning here.
Yeah. There may be a respawn. There may be a stream.
Oh, well, there he is.
And speak of the devil. Good morning, sunshine.
Speak of the devil.
The devil appears. Morning, buddy. How's it going?
Not been a great week.
Is it also 6 a.m. for you right now? Time zones, how do they work?
That doesn't suck. Was it Moira?
Oh, God.
Hello.
So, shall we roll the titles while we wait for you to get up and be kind of conscious, or does it not matter this week?
You can go ahead.
I think you should roll the titles and tell us what's coming next week.
Yay.
No, we don't need you making noises.
I said yay. I was celebrating.
It sounded like you had a stroke.
What we need and what we're going to get are two very different things.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
This is your weekly rundown of Season 23, Week 21, Season of the Wish. This week's Season to the Light bring with it two more focusable weapons for the Brave arsenal in the new game mode Onslaught. These are from Season 5, Brave Ranking Competitive, the Kinetic Micro-Missile Frame Grenade Launcher, the Mountaintop, and from Season 1, Leviathan Raid, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Midnight Coup. If you're unfamiliar, Onslaught is Destiny 2's new PvE wave-based defense activity, where 3 Guardians defend the last city from increasingly difficult waves of the Witness's forces. On the way, Guardians will have to slay enemies, earn resources, build defences, and sabotage pyramid ships. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Mist, and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind World features Hive enemies and the Plague Korrigar. The Ascendant Challenge this week will be the Chimera Garrison, which can be located over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian and the Wandering Nightmare, the Nightmare of Hawkis, are both located in the Anchor of Light. Nightmare hunts Skolus, Pride, Fanatic, Insanity, and Omnigul Anguish. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Legendary rounds are Taken, Cabal, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with weapon set 4. Fracture This, Quasura Milo, Volpicula, Wolftone Draw, Iotona Draconis, Canis Major, Contingency Plan, Legal Action 2, Outrageous Fortune, Steel Syllabus C14, and Spoiler Alert. The Witch Queen Weekly Story Mission is The Last Chance, Order of Reflections Catalyst, and Order of Reflections Insight. The Lightfall Weekly Mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition Mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex incursion this week will be Umshire Park. The Corota's End Raid Challenge this week is the third encounter, EU, the Death Singer, called Equal Vessels. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the third encounter, Golgroth, called Gaze Amaze. The Vow the Disciple Challenge this week is the first encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. The Deep Zone Crypt Challenge this week is the third encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. The Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the third encounter, Consecrated Mine, called Staying Alive. And the Last Wish Challenge this week is the third encounter, Morgoth, called Forever Fight. Your pinnacle raid will be the Root of Nightmares over on Neptune, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter, with the Exotic Shotgun conditional finality being farmable from the final boss. The Pinnacle Dungeon will be the Ghost of the Deep over in the Helm, and the Exotic Mission Rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger Exotic Grenade Launcher being the main reward, the Season of the Risen weapon set, plus the Tusk Allegiance armor set. And the Exotic Mission, the Whisper, is available over in the Into the Light node. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Scavenger's Den on the EDZ for exotic chests, Wednesday Sky.4 on the EDZ for exotic helmets, Thursday the Quarry on the EDZ for exotic boots, Friday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets, Saturday Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic chests, Sunday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic helmets, and Monday Perdition on Europa for exotic boots. Also, this week's weapon rotation will start in set 1 on Tuesday's reset. Our 21st featured Nightfall with Six face against the Token Hydra, Parthenos in the Hypernet current on Neptune, with the Warden's Law hand cannon being the featured weapon. The 6v6 control node will feature Control, Team Scorched in the Party Relentless playlist, Clash in the 3v3 playlist, Checkmate Survival in Crucible Labs, and Trials of Osiris Dominion at the weekend, with bonus Vanguard ranks and double Nightfall drops available all week long. Plus, we still have Moments of Triumph 2023 and Riven's Wishes. Also, as a reminder, you can collect a free pile of 700 Byte Dust from the Evervest store every week up until the final shape's release. And that's it for the 21st week of Season of the Wish.
So, is it 2 Titans and a Warlock this week? What's going on with this?
But this is Moira, and Moira
I know
does a quick breakdown of This Week in Destiny over on the Blueberry Lounge podcast channel. And I thought it'd be handy for Moira to come over here and talk long form, really get into the nitty gritty of it all.
Again, I know who Moira is. It's not my first rodeo dealing with this clown.
It's not for you. This is for the listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So Moira,
I guess that works.
And I main hunter, so
there you go. 2 Titans, 2 Hunters.
And a partridge in a pear tree. We're all set. Still not a warlock to be found. We know they're out there. But
I dabble in warlock.
No one gave the microphones.
So Moira, yeah, the floor is yours. Introduce yourself and what do you do over at the Blueberry Lounge and why do you do it?
All right. Yeah, no, fair enough. So what it is I'm usually a guest host over there. You know, it's not very often, but it does happen. My name is No One Respawns in real life. I mean, why am I telling them what I do at the Blueberry Lounge? That doesn't make any sense.
Break that. Reverse it.
No, just strike that.
Yeah, I'm Moira. I've been in the Blueberry Lounge, at least in the server, since it was made. I was a friend of Sweaty Spooks from the clan he used to be in, the Lords of Fallen Light, and so I kind of like followed him over once he wanted to start his podcast. And I've always been sort of like an info guy, knowing a bit about like blogs and various like game mechanics and perks and all those things. And so just over time, it's been sort of like a natural promotion into being a guest on the main podcast a couple of times, and then now being a host of like my own like side segment.
Yeah, your own platform.
Yeah, which is cool. It's like can't really call it public speaking because I'm just talking to my monitor, but
yeah,
it's good practice to just like talk long form. It's not really something I've done before, just by myself, recording for like half an hour to an hour. So
what I like about your kind of your breakdown is that it's very quick and it's very nice to kind of just get a quick overview of everything and not have to kind of deep dive into it. If you don't want to, you can kind of get your news without kind of having to look it up. And then, you're kind of covered for the week. And if you want to kind of delve any further, you can either listen to the other podcasts or read it yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
All right, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to point out the hypocrisy coming out of his mouth right now. Okay? No. He's all like, oh, I like the way you just kind of take everything and you break it down real quick. I've been trying to get this man to break things down quick for 270, who knows, episodes, right? And and now he's all like, oh, well, I like the fact you break it down real quick. But why don't you break it down quick? Instead of having like 90-minute segments on each individual freaking grain of sand in the game.
Well, hey, you know what? Now you have him for long form and me for short form, so everyone wins.
Don't encourage him, Moira.
And it would go quicker without the side tangents every 5 minutes.
Yeah, the squirrel moments. But we do a 3-minute quick weekly breakdown of what's happening,
you too.
Coming up next week.
Yeah,
on the rotation. So we do that. And I do a long form one as well. just to keep everybody happy.
That's true.
And, we've always appreciated Cheese Forever's videos because he just kind of tells you what you need to know. You can watch his long form videos if you want to see the whole thing play out, but he kind of tells you in 3 minutes and you're over and done with. And I think a lot of people do appreciate that if you can kind of give them the information in a short space of time without kind of waffling along. Some people do like that, and some people do like the long form, which is why this podcast comes in handy, that you can just stick it on, listen to us waffle, and pass your day.
I'm making waffles.
I'm glad it's been well received, but it's good to listen to. I'm told I can talk fast sometimes.
Faster the better.
Yeah. Especially if you put this is a 3-minute video, it then slightly starts to creep over with the amount of stuff that they're adding in every week. It's now up to 3.5 minutes. So I try to keep it under the 3.5 minutes just so I can still call it a 3-minute video, but it's slowly going to get to the 4-minute video with the amount of stuff unless everything gets put in the DCV. It might do, but you never know. It's this kind of.
It's like if Fallout makes a Zur in 1 minute video and it's like 1:10. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Calm down.
If Fallout can get away with, we can get away with it.
Yeah.
Same rules.
So, how long have you been playing Destiny? Have you been here since day dot, or did you join at a certain period?
So my dad started playing Destiny, I think, during the beta, and I tried to get into it initially. Like D1 2014. I was too young at the time when it came out. I would have been 9. So I just
Christ, you're making me feel old.
I just wasn't interested in it at the time. And then I was sort of getting back into watching YouTube videos and stuff, getting into the story and things and the gameplay. And so I started actually playing when Rise of Iron released. My dad bought the character boost for it to get us both up to speed, and we ran through that together.
Yeah.
I've been playing ever since. I got D2 when it came out, played the beta, was playing on PS4 until around, I think, Season 6, when they did a free weekend on Battle.net, where the PC version used to be from when they were still partnered with Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And let's see. When that originally happened, I was still mainly playing on PlayStation because I was still using a really old, crappy laptop that was definitely not for games. And I believe the rain in the courtyard of the tower in the first mission crashed the computer. So I'm like, this isn't gonna work. So I went back to PlayStation for most of that year, and then I got a gaming laptop for my birthday that year, and so I played on that for a while. And then a couple years later, also for my birthday, now I got the PC that I use currently. So I've been playing since Rise of Iron pretty constantly. I've never really had a longer break.
Have you always been a hunter?
I've always mained hunter. It's all I played in the year I played D1. I didn't even make another character. It probably took me until Curse of Osiris to make a Titan, and then I made the time. Wow.
I think is what you were gonna say, right? Yeah. I
I'm like, this is really cool. Being able to, I don't know if it was just me or if it was you could actually melee stuff harder. I feel I was definitely one-shotting. My punch felt more powerful as a Titan, which was definitely fun. And then I think I made a Warlock shortly after to sort of fill out the roster. But I play them all now. I definitely do still main Hunter. It's definitely still my favorite. But they definitely have their uses. Most solo dungeons I'll do on Warlock just because it's usually easier. And then Titan is fun for other endgame stuff.
Sometimes the answer is just, I need a banner of war, and just to stand there and just say, come at me.
Yeah. The two things I've been running probably most on Titan is, a banner of war thing. And Peregrine Greaves are pretty strong right now since they buffed them. You can use them in Master Lost Sectors pretty well just because they nearly one-shot the champions and you get your melee back for them. So it's good fun.
Nice.
I think they might actually be pretty strong in Onslaught with the amount of mini bosses that there is. I haven't tried them yet, but I have a hunch.
I can tell you from watching Micah play so much Titan and Onslaught that they're not as good as you think they are.
I mean, maybe at higher difficulties.
If and when the melee connects, maybe it's good. But there's that if and when aspect.
That's what you gotta kind of float around the guy first before you hit him.
There's definitely an inconsistency in actually proccing the Banner of War. Because I've been right next to him and he'll melee something and kill something and it won't proc the Banner of War. And there's also other times when the Banner of War is going, but it's not healing us. Right? So
Well,
this,
it does it in like bursts.
well, I'm aware how it works, but
Okay.
like I'm just talking about like
Are you
it'll
though?
be sitting there doing its thing, and our health just doesn't change, you know. And Mike loses his mind over it, and I can understand because it's supposed to be healing us in this high level content, and we're just getting our stuff pounded in, put it like that, because the Banner of War is not doing the Banner of War things, you know. So,
Or maybe you're dying too quickly for it to catch up to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. If the banner's not that strong, it's not going to help much.
okay, I've been playing the game for a while. I know what it looks like when you lose health and then it comes back a little bit, as opposed to it not coming back at all.
I'm sure.
I'm not exactly new to the game, bruh. You know. Apparently, I've been playing since this guy was 9, and I was already in my second or third year of college. Damn.
Now that we've all turned to dust.
Right?
Yes.
So we've established you're a hunter, but you do play the other classes. Now, PvE or PvE or PvP or PvE.
What?
What do you like to play? PvE or PvP?
I definitely. So it's funny because the main reason I was 2016 when Rise of Iron came out. So I was 10 when Rise of Iron came out, I think, or 11. And so the main reason I was like, they let me essentially play Destiny over other stuff like COD, was because it wasn't like killing other people. You know, you got like all these aliens and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's okay. That's less like violent, I guess. Okay.
Alien murder is fine.
Yeah, sure. But then, but ironically, I got really good at Crucible, which was killing other people.
Yep.
So I've been really into it since I guess I just started playing it, and I'd like to think I've gotten pretty good at it. But then over the course of maybe Season of Opulence time, since I've been named Moira, essentially, which maybe I can get into that like story. But I've gotten into more of the like raiding and things. Like I've done pretty much everything outside of like a couple master raids and some of the GMs. But I've done like I enjoy all parts of the game, and like I mentioned earlier, like I've had solo flawless in all the dungeons, and so I try and do a bit of everything. I'm less of a PvP main now than I used to be. It was more maybe like it was more 80-20 before. Now it's probably more like 50-50.
Is that because of age though?
I'm gonna hurt you.
I wouldn't say so. I think PvP has gotten a little like it gets repetitive. And I don't know if this is just like a skill bracket thing where everyone's using the same thing. But it's definitely I like the challenge of PvE, I think, a bit more now, where it's PvP is its own thing of you know having to adapt to whatever your enemy's using, whereas PvE is much more like a solvable thing. You can like figure out what you have to do and kind of repeat that. Like with solo dungeons and stuff like that, it's fun to be able to.
It's something you can kind of you can kind of practice at and you know, as you said, kind of work out how to kind of do encounters and do these kind of bosses and things, and then PvP is it's its own other challenge.
Yeah, you can say
it.
Although I probably would credit some of my PvE like skill to having been good at PvP in terms of like game sense and things like that, being able to manage a whole bunch of things.
Respawn's like that. Respawn was in the Marines, and he's very good at PvP.
In other games.
Oh dear. So tell us about your name. How did you come up with Moira?
Yeah. Okay. So originally, the name I used for most things was Terra Miner, which was a portmanteau of the two, like the only two games I played at the time, which were Minecraft and Terraria.
Yeah.
And then I think, was that the name I used for Destiny? I think it was. It would have been until I would have changed it. I guess it would have been during Shadowkeep because I would have been able to change it on Steam. I started playing Overwatch as Moira, mainly because in the shifts from I played Overwatch a bit on console, but then I started playing on a PC, and Moira's a really like easy character to use aim wise, and I liked her in general, and so I'm like, okay, I'll stick with it. And then I liked her so much that I changed my Steam name to it, which at the time changed your Destiny name. And okay. I had happened to join a Last Wish LFG at some point. It must have been after Shadowkeep at that point. And that was what my name was at the time. And so that's what people called me. And frankly, it worked better just as a name than like Terra Miner. So it's just kind of stuck through all the servers I've been through out of that over the past like, I don't know, 5-ish years maybe.
Yeah.
So it's just stuck. I will, if someone calls it out like in real life, I'll like my head will turn and be like, oh, me? No.
My real life name we're not allowed to say on here because we'll get demonetized.
How would it get demonetized? I'd just cut it out. You can tell us.
Because it's a bad word.
Well, you're not streaming, are you?
You don't want to know where I'm at.
No, you're not streaming the show. No. It sounds like you've just rolled over in bed, turned your phone on, and you're just laying on the pillow still talking to us from that.
We're going to go with that. Yeah, that sounds way better.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So shall we talk some Destiny? Should we get into some Destiny? Because I don't think there's been much news this week, but there was a game mode that people have decided to start kind of playing on their own that sounds quite cool, and I think it was called Onslaught, wasn't it?
There's been not a lot of news this week, but a lot of news like this past month.
Yeah. So Onslaught happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Are we all enjoying Onslaught?
Yeah. I like the guns you get from it too. You know,
yeah. I've probably not played it as much as I should be, because I definitely do want a lot of the rewards that it has, and I haven't really been playing the game like super intense. I've been doing other stuff, just busy.
But it is a kind of time commitment because you do have to kind of give yourself like 45 minutes to an hour's worth of time.
Yep.
If you're going to go from wave 1 up to wave 50.
For the 51, yeah.
Either, regardless of kind of either doing normal or legend, it's still going to take you that amount of time. And if you have breaks in between, which I found if you just sit on the pyramid ship, as you can do, you can have a break before even jumping back through the portal and getting on with things. So, if somebody calls break or just sits down by the portal, you're like, okay, we're having a quick break. Then
if none of you like actually leave, that's fair.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to keep rushing into it, which is quite nice to know. Did come across a glitch,
no timer in the ship.
Yeah, I did come across a glitch though. The portal didn't show up, so we couldn't get back. And because nobody was over there, it went, well, obviously you don't want to go back then. And we were like, now we want to go back. We want to go back. Send us back.
Listen, the cruise.
Well, I guess you guys like it here.
Yeah.
The ship leaves promptly at 2 p.m. If you're not on the ship, we're not going to wait for you. And it did not wait for you, sir.
I don't know whether it was because we deleted the boss within like seconds and we rushed over there. The chest spawned, but there was no portal to go back. So I think we got to I think it was wave 30, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to reset and go back.
Oh, damn it! At least you get stuff for each wave.
Yes,
like it's not like you totally lost any reward.
Yeah, I do appreciate that it is like Menagerie in that way. You still get rewards.
Yeah, it's like tiered
for doing it. And to answer your question, Respawn, I've gotten to level 40. I've gotten to wave 42 or 43. I played on Tuesday while we were hitting bats in orbit half the time as we were getting into Onslaught, and haven't been on since then. But we got to level like 42 or 43, and two of us were down, and we didn't realize that we needed to like capture one of the zones with the brig in it before the time expired. So we both, we basically had one person protecting the ADU, other two of us racing back to the brig, and just didn't quite have enough time to take the brig down and then capture the zone to
oh dear,
do the mine, and then it blew up, and we said, well, we got close.
Yeah. So there are several different kind of enemies that we kind of have you guys come across the Hive yet in there? I found the Hive.
God, those guys suck.
Hive are harder than Fallen. I can handle millions of Fallen. The Hive, oh my word! Like, who puts a Shrieker in there? Who puts 2 Shriekers in there?
4 Shriekers in there.
Yeah,
in the boss room.
No. Just in the defending area
above your ADU.
I don't know if I've gotten that far on Hive.
Oh my god! Yeah, and there's one part where the 2 will spawn at once. You kill those 2. 2 more immediately spawn. You got to kill those 2. Well, and then there was even one wave, I think, where we had ogres like assisting them. I was like, oh my god.
And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
That's fine when you've got the weapons to deal with them, but when you've got like Dragon's Breath that just kind of plinks off the side of it and just drops on the floor, and you go, oh, or you're running Risk Runner, and that can't shoot that high up in the air. Yeah. You're like, oh, why did I bring these weapons?
What do I do?
This was a good idea at the time.
What I do is I run a void build. You know, the void build I've been talking about for years.
Yes, the void build you've been talking about and promoting. Yes,
I'm unfamiliar now. I've never heard you once mention
it. Void build, but they use that submachine gun instead of the wave splitter, and I tried that, and it's ass.
Which submachine gun? There's a couple.
The
Recluse?
Manticore.
Title?
Yes, but have you got the catalyst unlocked for Manticore? Because that makes a difference. Makes a hell of a lot of difference.
It makes a difference, but it doesn't make as good a difference if you have the right build and you're using Wave Splitter. Because Wave Splitter, you'll be dropping orbs like crazy, which powers it up and it does mad damage. And ammo economy isn't the best with Wave Splitter, but that's why my secondary is the Retrofit Escapade with Target Lock and I forgot my other perk on it. And I'll use that until I get enough ammo for the special, and then I'll use the special until I get ammo for the heavy. So it's a back and forth kind of thing right there. But the whole time, it is shredding everything, you know? And even when I did use Manticore, it wasn't even close to being as good as the Wave Splitter. Now, the difference is you have infinite ammo with the Manticore. Sure, fair enough if you want that kind of thing. But as far as damage, ad clear, AoE ability, meaning because you're making everything volatile and everything's blowing up, you're not going to come as close to the same damage as you do with the Wave Splitter, you know? And I've been seeing a lot of people try that Manticore thing, and I'm just like,
can I just point out why you're probably doing more damage with the Wave Splitter? Slightly more.
I don't think it's slightly, but continue.
It's one of the modifiers this week, gives you 25% extra damage. So I know the Wave Splitter does extra damage. So next week, when it switches off of that, you won't be doing as much damage.
There happens to be a trace rifle surge this week.
Yes, it's a surge on trace rifles and machine guns this week. So
is it really? Both of them?
Yes. Yeah.
With this one weird trick.
Right?
Have you tried collective obligation respawn?
That's the other machine gun, right?
No, it's the pulse rifle from Vow.
Exotic. Oh, no, I haven't.
It's really good with Gear Falcons.
Yeah, no,
it just perpetuates the buff, and it makes you invisible like all the time.
Yeah, and it's a pulse rifle, so again, infinite ammo. Ooh.
And it like reloads itself if you get a kill on it. I love collective obligation with Gear Falcons.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I've really, really enjoyed about Onslaught. I've played enough. I've played quite a bit this week, actually. Funny enough, if you let your wife have the television and you install the NVIDIA GeForce Now on your laptop and play on your laptop and pretend like you're watching at the same time, you can get away with playing quite a lot of Onslaught up till 2 o'clock in the morning, kind of playing Onslaught. I did regret it the next day because I was tired and I was constantly told this because you stayed up playing Destiny until 2 o'clock in the morning.
So she knew.
What? No, I was watching TV.
We were having quality TV time.
I think I've cracked it. That as soon as Destiny goes on the TV, there's rage. If Destiny's on the laptop, no rage. I also found that if I turn my phone sideways, if I turn my phone sideways and pretend like I'm playing a game on my phone and do Destiny item management while I'm kind of talking to her as well, so I can kind of pause while doing that, she's okay with that. But if it's the other way around and I'm watching or listening to Destiny videos, don't do that. So, I mean, as I pointed out in the chat this week, that I was like, I'm going to have to give up Destiny because I cannot cope with having a vault that is overflowing, postmasters that are overflowing, and you're now giving me XYZ billion guns. So I actually had to sit down and go through every single weapon while I was watching TV, obviously, and and match it up.
That's how you do it.
You know, I was kind of, have I got this one with these kind of perks, and is there a weapon that is similar? And do I really want to keep it? And I managed to get my vault down to 560. I don't know how I got rid of 40 items, but I did, and I'm now happy that I'm playing the game. But
if only that were recorded, we could have put that up for a Patreon only special, and people would have loved to see you deleting just knowing what you would have gotten rid of. I am also wildly curious which things made the cut and which things didn't, and which things did you go, okay, I've got enough of these.
There were a lot of exotics, and when I then got into doing the builds,
pull from collections.
Yeah, then when I started doing the builds, and I was like, I haven't got that exotic, so I'm going to have to pull it back out. Following the Aztecross video from last week that I put in the notes about having the Salvation script, I was like, oh, I just know that one. I'm going to pull it back out and then level it up. So what can I level it up? Give me an old hullabaloo that I don't need, or a edge transit. Yeah, an edge transit. Give me an edge transit that's 1800 or 1810, and I'll just infuse it into. So yeah, I'm currently sitting at, I think it's 563 in my vault, but I do have a few things floating around in the postmasters that I'm kind of dabbling with. I'm like, if it goes, it goes.
Can't commit,
No, I don't want to kind of commit.
I typically float around like the 500 range at this point without any like postmaster stuff.
Yeah,
it's getting a bit higher because I'm saving some brave gear for now, seeing what kind of rolls I get. But typically, and that's with like every exotic, all of the.
I don't understand how. I don't know. So, I have one character that I play. One.
Yeah.
Right. And the only things I have for the other characters in my vault are exotics that are high rolled for them, and it's a one of, right? And the legendary armor that I've built around like my favorite exotic for that character. Right, and that's it. No legendary armor for them whatsoever. Right. I've gotten rid of every single exotic weapon that I don't actively use in an active build, to the point to where if I need to pull out another exotic, I'm fusing my exotic into that exotic to get it at level. And then if I have to go back to my build, I have to pull out my exotic and infuse the one I just infused back into mine. Right. And all of my weapons are one up. Stuff that you can't get anymore. I don't have like 5 rolls of the same weapon. No, I have like the best roll, or maybe the 1 god roll for PvE and the 1 god roll for PvP. Don't know why, whatever. And
I don't have duplicate things either.
And all the duplicates gone. And if it's a craftable weapon and I have the pattern for it, it's gone flat out, right?
Yep.
So that being the case, I still am at 599 slots with most of my characters full of weapons. That's
crazy.
And I'm called the Hoarder here.
Do you have any ghosts or ships or sparrows that you're holding in your vault, or is that completely empty?
Those are all gone.
And it sounds like a skill issue. I'm sitting over here at 464 of 600 because I just did a big purge. I went through at one point, again, while I was watching TV one night, and tagged every single weapon, #never fired, for anything with a 0 kill count on it. So I could go and look at a glance and say, what have I never fired? I mean, if it's sitting at 1600, that's a pretty good indication. But I just said, what have I literally never used once? And then go, okay, well, I've got another one of those. Let me get rid of the one I've never used. I still have 50 of them sitting in the vault because some of them are like, Dim says, hey, this is a decent roll. And that was the one I kept. But there's just, I went through this last purge and did a bunch of, exotics again. Things I've earned that I could just pull from collections again. Things I've never used, arbalists and things I'm going, that's certainly a weapon I could use, but I'm never going to. And it's the thing I could just pull out again.
Has like one use case nowadays. You could just pull it if you need it for that.
Yeah, I've again never fired it. Got it. All the talk of the final warning, I forgot I even had. I went and looked at my vault. I was like, did I ever get the final warning? I have no recollection of this. Like, oh yeah, look, there it is, sitting right there. Who knew? like just no recollection. And there's so much. I deleted so much Iron Banner gear, so much Iron Banner armor. Because again, like I was collecting anything with good rolls, and now I've moved to I need to see double 20s or I need to see spikes. I need a 20 and like an 18 before I keep you. Because there were so many words like you've got 6 nearly identical Warlock gloves. Let's keep the one that's the slightly better version. Yeah, I was just throwing it in the vault over and over again, going, I don't need all of these.
I keep anything above 65 or higher to keep is like my rule so far.
Yeah, I've got that kind of rule.
And that's got me at like 90 armor pieces. Except for exotics, because, it's harder to get. I have one of every exotic, and so it's harder to get better rolls for them. I think there's only one or two that I haven't gotten a better roll for. That's just like a collections roll still.
And you're going to need all 100 slots they're going to give you in final shape for your new exotic class items. Because right now, I have one that is an artifice piece of armor as the only class item on my Titan because I don't need a second one. This one's artifice. Good. Everything else I've deleted. There's no reason to have any other one. I just put that into every build, except, well, no, that's not true. I have the All-Star mark. Again, when you have to wear another thing, I have that. But beyond that, I delete everything else because I'm like, why bother?
Yep, that was one of the big things I did when they came out with the loadouts. Is I deleted all of my characters only have one class item because you just only need the one.
That's not true. Not true.
You need two if there's an event.
I'm not sure with him on that one. That's not true. But I have a friend. I have a friend who's a civil engineer and he designs roads for a living, right? And we were having a conversation about this vault space.
We're on the go now. We're on the move.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, where are we going?
We're having a conversation about this vault space, and he says one thing you learn as a civil engineer is if humans have space, they will fill it. That's why no matter how many lanes you put on a highway, there's always traffic. You know what I mean? And then he also plays Destiny on the side, and he's all like, these 100 slots are going to be filled immediately. And then we saw the prismatic video where it shows that your class item is going to be randomly rolled with 2 different exotic perks, and he goes, yep, there it is.
Yep, between your brave weapons, all the new stuff
I got 100 free slots. I don't know what to tell you.
That the moment final shape drops, those are going to be full because you're going to get all this. See, I almost would welcome another, again, there's been this like rumor talk of Destiny 3. I'd almost welcome another, let's just purge this and start fresh.
Yeah.
When the final shape comes, let me take the things I have on my character, and then everything else gets destroyed. Let's move on. Like
this is a little scary. I have one of the main friends I play Destiny with has like apparently just crossed over like 1 page of vault space.
Oh my god. My son started playing again actually because of Onslaught, and he wanted to get into the Horde mode, and he had like 1 piece of gear on each. He only had 1 extra kind of piece of gear. He's main to hunter, and for his kind of armor. And I was like, my mind was like, you've got 1. There's like 8 other slots next to each square. And then he took me to his vault, and his vault has just got like 2 lines of just exotics that he's picked up whilst playing the game at some point. And I'm like, I can't comprehend this. But the good thing about this Into the Light expansion is he was at 1400 because he was wearing a stupid mask at the time. He was like, I really like this mask. I'm like, no, take the mask off. Jumped up to 1600. He then went to the Hall of Champions, followed the kind of, flew in, saw the intro, walked up to Shaxx. I said, no, don't go to Shaxx. Go to that little chest at the side. I said, this is the chest of the gods. I said, and that should give you some powerful stuff. 1810. He's done nothing. 1810 now on everything. I'm like, I've worked for that, and you've just walked up to a chest and gone 1810. Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I'm
except for my.
Is it 1810? Or is it 1800?
1810.
1810.
I didn't even notice that.
Yep. So Bungie said we want to level set you to 1810. Turn on the game, download it, start it. You're 1810. Done.
They're like, the rest of you have been 1810 for a year. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no kind of artifact yet, but, he's 1810 on his gear. But the funny thing is, the last time he picked up gear, he must have gone to the Chest of the Gods when it was last time round. Because he had exactly the same weapon.
The same stuff.
the same armor. And I'm like, this is, all the perks were exactly the same. It's like they just went copy, paste, 1810, 1810.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I was like, we don't need that one because you've now got that one at 1810.
Perfect.
Like, just
rinse and repeat.
Because that was what 5-ish seasons ago, I think. That was Plunder.
Yeah, Plunder it was. Yeah, he plays every now and then, but he convinced me the other day. He said to me, I'm so cracked at Fortnite. I said, I know. I mean, he does win quite a lot of Fortnite games, and the drift on his controller, I don't know. He must have dribbled on it or sweated so much that it just. I can't control his controller. It just flies up and down, up and down. I don't know how he does it because I was trying to control I was like, no, you can. You just go to there and do that and that and that. But he's been playing survival Countdown Survival because it's more of a challenge. I'm like, oh my God, when are you taking me to the lighthouse?
At this point, he just that drift is just part of his gameplay. He just considers that another piece of the physics in the game.
Yeah, I said, if you go and get one of my other controllers, I said, you'll be able to play the game a lot better. Your skill will kind of.
No, he won't. No, he won't. He has adapted to that level of drift. I remember playing like the original Saints Row, where you would drive those big cars, big Lincoln Town cars, and they handled like boats, and you had to learn that physics. That's how he's playing every game now. He's going every game. I'm basically on a boat, and if you give me something crisp, I'm going to absolutely, basically relearn how to play this game.
Yeah,
he has a very particular skill set he's built up now.
He was very excited for kind of the Horde mode and getting into that and playing that. So we've been playing it a little bit off and on. And my wife told me off for getting him back into it. I said, it wasn't me. He wanted to play Horde. She's like, yeah, of course.
Listen, it's just Fortnite against the world. It's just Destiny themed. That's all.
Is this the same kid that years ago we were joking about one day he would take us to the lighthouse, and now he actually might?
Yeah, he's very good at Fortnite, and I mean he's also very good at Gears of War as well. He plays that quite competitively as well. But getting back to Onslaught, I mean, for Onslaught, we were gearing up this week, and we did play a bit of Gears, me and the family, like quite a few kind of games just to have a bit of fun because they all just like playing Gears. But some of the builds that I've been seeing for this are fantastic, and some of I've been getting into my mindset of what am I going to be rocking, and doing so much research of looking at different builds that have kind of come, and so many that are kind of coming out now. And one of the funny things was I was watching a video from I want to say Cool Guy, and he was going over a build for Onslaught with the sidearm, the final warning, because Peroty mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I've just deleted that. I was like,
someone may have deleted all of their blinding grenade launchers out of their vault recently. I'm not going to name names, but someone may have gone, whoopsie, he had blinding grenade launchers and now he doesn't. As everyone's saying, go grab a blinding grenade launcher. Well,
you can pull there's a blue one you can pull from collections.
We've got enough tusks. We've got enough tusks of the boars. It'll be okay. We've got it sorted.
Is there a crafted one yet?
Tusk of the boar? No.
No, of a blinding launcher. Oh, there is. There's two of them.
Yes, there wasn't. I can't remember.
I don't think I have either of them.
It's the Dares one and the Defiance one.
Oh, the Dares one. That's right. I should play Dares.
One for each slot.
Those weapons done.
Yeah.
And what were you going to say, Nitedemon?
I think also one of the videos that I watched this week from Cool Guy was going over the God roll for Elsie's rifle, saying, it's much better than the Messenger. And funny thing was, he was going over the perks and things. He's like, Messenger can't roll with Head Seeker and Zen Moment and this and that, and Elsie's rifle can, and Zen Moment is one of the top tier perks for this rifle, and it does really well. And I'm like, you may not have a Zen Moment Head Seeker one. I've got Zen Moment Head Seeker from way back when, and this is getting back to the kind of hoarding of my vault.
I don't think Messenger can roll Zen Moment Head Seeker.
Yes, it can.
I
can take a picture.
The curated one that we got comes with that.
In which iteration?
Isn't the curated one?
Which iteration of Messenger? Because I still have an old Messenger.
Yeah, it's an old Messenger.
Neither of the ones I'm looking at in DIM have Zen Moment on them.
No, they won't, because it's an old one. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, this is why it's like chosen. Okay,
I'll send you a DM with a picture of it.
The season 13.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. All right.
But this is the problem that I have with the hoarding, is that I hang on to these rolls because I go, that's going to be good at some point. I know in my head that they're going to go with this perk and this and that, and I'm like, well, I'm going to hang on to that because there may be a build for that.
Well, that's different, because that's like you can't get that anymore.
Yeah, but
I have that. I have one like that too. I have a snapshot Vorpal. I have Soul that you just can't get anymore. Which is very nice. Kinetic sniper.
I appreciate when the game's like, this perk no longer rolls on this weapon. Oh, so you're telling me I should definitely keep this one, huh?
Yeah. There's a reason why they took it out of the perk pool, and it's not come back ever since. Oh, has it been buffed now? Maybe it has. But yeah, the builds for Onslaught are fantastic, and I don't know if you guys have you guys been experimenting, or you've been kind of, I know Respawn's been hailing his Void Hunter build. But have you been trying any kind of other builds? Have you seen any other builds? Or are there any builds that you kind of had in mind?
Strand is really strong too on a Hunter. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Strand is really, really good. That butterfly build that Astacross came out with, I modified it a little bit, but I mean, with the blinding butterflies that are flying everywhere, it's given me and my buddies overshields, and I'm just creating so many Beyblades around the map. It's quite strong. Now, for the boss fights, you might have to swap your loadout before you rally to the flag. But for the ad clear stuff between boss fights, it's super strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about that. Is that they've got their kind of ad clear set up, and then they go into their menus, switch over to kind of the boss DPS, and then switch back before they kind of go back to defending the ADU. Moira, builds?
I haven't really. I can't say I've really been like experimenting much. I've kind of just used like the loadouts I've been using forever in terms of, because I have a couple good PvE ones. I haven't gotten on my Warlock. I haven't done a ton of my Warlock yet, but on Hunter I have mainly been running Void. Not the Gyre Falcons thing. I've been running Orpheus Rig with I think Whisper. I've been using Whisper a bit to like level it.
Yeah,
and it's just it's pretty solid for like damage, especially because I can just keep that on. And then depending on whether I'm feeling like it or not, I'll swap to like Nighthawk for the boss, or I'll just keep Tether on because it's good to have for that as well. I don't think I've really brought anything in there besides that. I might have messed around with Stasis for a second, but I've mainly been rocking Void for it.
Have you got any ideas of what you want to kind of take into there and use as a build, or not as?
I mean, so I have a build for like every subclass on each class. I could probably like go through and run it on all of them. I'm probably not going to make anything new.
Okay.
It's just like good PV. Like my Warlock has a really good Sunbracers build. I really don't need to like iterate on that for Onslaught specifically. Like it's just a good build.
I've seen the Warlocks come in with that infinite frozen turret build, and that's been doing super, super good. Even in the boss room, they just freeze everything. You just plink, 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 plink them down. It's good stuff.
Frozen turret, Sunbracers.
Yeah, Shade Binder's always been pretty strong.
Yeah,
in anything high end.
Yeah, there's a Threadling army build for the Warlock that I have saved that I want to try out. That's just you spawn a trillion Threadlings and just send all the Threadlings, especially like on Midtown, where in those maps with close quarters, it's just it's the same idea of I'm going to freeze you. No, I'm going to send the army of Threadlings after you, and you're dead. Yeah, and I've just been playing again. It's like running around as a Solar Titan or a Strand Titan because that's been good all season. I think Cool Guy put out a build. It was basically like, hey, run the same solar build you've been running around with your Consecration and your hammers. Switch to Pirate Gales in the ball stream to do that one big burst damage, and then go back to the Precious Scars and just continue to just heal yourself and your friends and keep everybody alive.
Yeah, I saw that one. I was going to put it in the show notes because
they buffed the Precious Scars, didn't they?
They did, and it does a lot of other different things as well now, with like healing really you and the team and revives and.
Oh yeah, it just gives you healing outside of the revives.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've got not the one he had, but I have a heal clip incandescent summoner that I've been running with. Just murder things, get the healing from the Precious Scars, get the healing from the summoner, and just set everything on fire, which has just been great fun.
Yeah, I was running the Cool Guy. Well, it wasn't the Cool Guy build when I was running it because I just went into Onslaught with it, and I was like, I'm going to put on the Pyrogale gauntlets because I could do that mini kind of jump in the air slam, and then use my Risk Runner to kind of, because I'm taking all that arc damage from all the Fallen, and it was just like chaining all over the place, and it was fantastic, and I was really enjoying it because there was fire, there was electricity all over the place, and.
Yeah, the enemy density is so, and I haven't done the Moth Yards map yet. Again, I haven't played it that much, but just like on Midtown, when you have all those, it's like your Spartans, defending. There's such a high density of enemies, which is part of what I love about it. You can just chain damage, or they're grouped up so much. You're like, I can kill you and all your friends with his one little trick. It's been so much fun. Just setting everything ablaze.
Moth Yards is a bit more sparse. But like Midtown and Vostok are pretty good for a lot of like group clearing really quickly.
Yeah, I've stuck with Midtown just so that I could learn the spawns, learn kind of the choke points, and then I was going to kind of move on and do the other maps. And I was messaging Peroty throughout the week of, how high did you get kind of thing. And my first run, I think we got to 38, and the Tormentor, no, it must have been 39. Tormentor spawned in, and he was on the ADU, and it was down by the waterfront. And I was up on the steps away from it, and I got killed from something behind because they suddenly spawn right behind you, and I was like, oh god! And it spawned me down at the waterfront, just down where the steps are, as you kind of go around the back of that building. And just as the Tormentor was leaping in the air to kill the guy that was shooting at him, I spawned in as the guy got booped. I got booped, and we both went off the map, and the other guy had already been dead, so it just died, and I was like, why did you spawn me there?
I've heard that Tormentor is pretty much like the bane of everything on that map.
I'm the Tormentor.
But there is a kind of good thing to use for the Tormentors. It's the turrets and the decoys. Decoys and turrets are the way to go, not those trip mine things. The laser beam.
That seems to be the consensus, is that everybody's kind of on the trip mines for not being that useful.
Yeah, they're not being that good. Oh, and I think it was TDT. One of his, not Willa Bill, but like the crazy builds thing was to use the edge of action Titan bubble and bubble the decoy. And he said it basically just like 10x's the health of that decoy. So everything runs to it, gets trapped in the bubble, and then you can just wail on them while they're trying to wail on that decoy. And even even the Tormentors seem to really like the decoys. Yeah. I saw the decoy and was like, "There's no way this is gonna be useful." But decoys are good. I really appreciate the part of the live stream where they were like, "Well, there was that bug with the decoys where the only damageable part of the sweeper bot was the broom." I was like, if you could have just shipped that for us just for the first couple days.
Yeah, because the idea is that you get the aggro over the Tormentor, you run over to the decoy, and then run away because he just decides, oh no, I don't like you, decoy, and just wails on the decoy while you can kind of deal the rest of the ads until he's the kind of last one, which is it's a kind of Gears tactic as well. Because when you have the mini boss waves or the boss waves, as I think I explained to the guys a couple of weeks back, if you destroy the boss really quickly, they'll send you another one in Gears. They're just like, well, you've destroyed the Tormentor? Have another one. It's like, because your kind of bar of enemies is still quite high.
Yeah.
So somebody always distracts the big boss, and you clear out the rest of the enemies, and then you focus on that. So that was quite cool.
So we're all enjoying Gambit 2.0. We all understand the Gambit they're not buffing because they gave us Gambit at home. They gave us different Gambit.
Ironically, I've managed to reset my Gambit rank just recently, even though I'm definitely not like a hardcore Gambit player. But I was doing like my 3 games for the R-Site bounty, and I'm like, oh, I'm at 10k rank for Gambit. Okay, like I might actually gild it this season. I think I'm missing like motes collected or something for the title. I'm like, okay, I might end up doing that.
I think you might. Gambit, Onslaught, and then they're going to bring Iron Banner back, and everybody will understand how to play the mode now. It'll be great.
No, they won't.
No, I know. They're PvP players. They don't play.
No, everyone. People will just play Control.
Yeah.
And I think after that I got to wave 43, so I got a 40 chest, and then I think 48, and I was like so close, and I was like, oh, I'm going to stay up, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get it done. And I finally got it done. And I think it was on when I was playing with Pyro Gals. But in the meantime, I kind of swapped over and done a couple of other builds, because while I was on my phone, I was like, well, I'm going to try these other builds. And I'd seen another build that somebody done with the Doomfang Pauldrons on the Titan, having a void build and throwing out loads of just
Doomfang are real nice.
Yeah. And then there was the one with Aztecross put out last week with the Salvation's Grip with Stasis. And then there was another one that I kind of tried that was, let me have a look through my armor pieces. Oh, just Sweet Business. I thought, I'm just going to try a Sweet Business build and just build into that and just non-stop shooting. It's not as good as I thought it would be, but I still tried it.
I think with Overload Auto, it's like decent right now for like actual use.
Yeah, for doing the 10-round ones, it's great fun because grab that, and the machine guns had the 25% boost. So again, just Sweet Business machine gun.
It's not a machine. Sweet Business isn't a machine gun, but yeah,
right.
If you're using Actium, you're using the machine gun with it. So
right, exactly. And if you're using Sweet Business, you're not using Actium. So pair that with a machine gun and just go. I'm going to point in this direction. Everything's going to die. Yeah. Because I did the same thing because I put together some. I somehow had deleted all my sweet business builds. I don't know what was wrong with me. So I was like, I need to put something back together again. So I done that sort of for PvP again, just playing not Fortress Tribute. So I was like, well, let's bring those in. I was like, Legendary. I have no delusion that this is going to be good. But the 10-round one, I was like, it's actually, again, especially when enemies group up and just say, step into the kill zone, please. And they do.
Without any at 1600 power, sweet business is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to find the good meta build. I can run around with a ridiculous thing and enjoy myself.
Yep.
Right. But I saw, what was it, Mactix? I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw the highlights about it being a Solar Titan, infinite healing, infinite damage build. Have y'all tried that?
Yes. I think. See,
that's kind of just what Solar Titan is.
Yeah, Precious Scars and Consecration, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was either that one or Cool Guys one that he kind of put out, because it was Cool Guys one about the Abyss Defiant parody. Because he said, you need the Abyss Defiant if you can get it. Because
for the heal clip, probably.
Yeah, heal clip, and also it's got the curse. Yeah, and the curse thrall perk.
Oh,
also
that's true.
Yeah, it has a really nice synergy with the rest of it.
Yeah, the curse thrall origin trait on it is after defeating a target with a melee attack, final blows with this weapon cause the targets to explode for a short duration.
Yes,
so if you do that kind of slide, jump, slam with the melee, with or without your pyro gales on, you kind of get that explosion. You can then get the Abyss Defiant to proc.
And what's the Abyss Defiant again? What is that?
It's the Crota auto.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah,
and it's solar.
That. Yeah, I got that.
It's solar, and you can get incandescent on it as well. So defeating targets spreads scorch to those nearby. So you're just constantly proccing the healing and the scorch and the explosion.
And you get a bit of arc damage in there with the explosion.
Do you?
Doing a whole lot of everything. Yeah, curse thrall explosions are arc.
And it actually behaves. Okay, I thought it just exploded. I didn't know it gave you the arc damage too.
Yeah, curse thrall's explosion is arc.
I don't know if there's anything that would do that, but just technically it is arc damage, even on Necrochasm.
Because sometimes I use that to proc the risk runner. I'll run up to a cursed thrall and then kind of back away slightly just to kind of get the explosion to trigger the risk runner. So so I'm quite excited to have that, because I got an Abyss Defiant to drop. I haven't
That's definitely super strong. Have I? I don't have Abyss Defiant crafted, but I have the one I need, and I don't have a harmonizer for it.
No.
So I need to actually run it again to get.
I got one with incandescent on it and Zen Moment. I'm like, I'm using that one. I know why I kept you now. But then I realized also, because he said if you haven't got that one, the Summoner is also another one that can roll with incandescent as well. And I got that one to drop on my Adept auto rifle that I managed to get. It was that and Golden Tricorn with Zen Moment and High Caliber.
Solid.
I know. I'm like, thank God I got the god roll of PvE and PvP. I'm happy. It's somebody's god roll, but I'm happy with it.
I mean, it sounds like a good god roll. So I mean, I don't know why you're what you
heal clip Onslaught is apparently the hot thing on Summoner, but definitely incandescent with heal clip is super strong.
I have the heal kill and the heal incandescent, and I just can't get rid of the heal kill. It is just so strong once you get it going, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a natural combo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Onslaught, it just, you might as well be throwing spitballs at these guys with that gun. Even with kill clip active in the 40s and whatnot, you're not doing much with that gun, and it's kind of a shame because it's a good gun. But Abyss Defiant, that's what I was looking up. Hold on, let me check those rules.
So the other weapon that people were talking about that you guys also mentioned was the grenade launchers, wasn't it? With is it blinding grenades and things like that on there?
Yeah, running
disorienting grenades.
Running a blinding, disorienting GL, and then basically stunning people and then murdering them.
Yeah, it's just generally a not bad thing to have.
Yeah.
Even in GMs and stuff, you always want a blinding grenade.
What's the roll on the Abyss Defiant that you want?
Heal clip and incandescent.
Yeah, I don't have that. I have Zen with Sword Logic, Zen with Target, and then Outlaw Kill Clip. So I don't have any of that. Damn it!
But have you got a Summoner with incandescent on there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That works. But with incandescent is also pretty fun. To do it. Yeah. I think he also said you can use Tikus with that build as well, didn't he? Cool guy.
Probably, yeah. With pretty few got Precious Scars for the healing.
Yeah, because most of it is you want to set things on fire. So setting things on fire he's like, you do this if you got it. If not, you've got. I mean, you could do Tikus, you could do Sunshot. There's a lot of. If you don't, if you don't have this exact weapon, here's other ones you could use to make this also work for you. Because I mean, most of the Onslaught builds, it's like it just doesn't matter what exactly you're running. Here's the general vibe: set things on fire.
Tikus actually apply Scorch? It doesn't. Why doesn't it do that?
It doesn't apply Scorch, but it does ignite.
Well, yeah. It probably ignites because that's an artifact.
The whole reason you want them to Scorch is for the ignition, and if you can bypass the Scorch and just do the ignition, why not?
Well, that's not an ignition. Tikus has its own like explosion thing. They might be igniting because of an artifact perk this season. I don't know why they should make it do Scorch.
Same reason that Sunshot didn't until they buffed it to it. Change it so it would. So
yeah, like Sunshot and like 1K. I think.
Yeah. Same reason it did.
Because it wasn't a thing when it came out, and they're like,
we're
exactly. We're not going to give you all the synergy yet. So
Sunshot especially. Everyone's like, why not?
Yeah.
Unlike the special thing from Polaris Lance, Scorches now.
That's right. Yeah, and because that's the whole thing with Precious Scars is match your subclass, do damage. So set things on fire, heal yourself, get all that stuff going. All good synergy.
Yeah, remember how they're like, oh no, we're gonna make it so that weapons with intrinsic, champ skills can't do other things, right? Which is why like the Wish Ender can't also be, unstoppable or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Polaris Lance.
Well, yeah, because it's the subclass verbs are separate from that.
Yeah.
The gun itself. That's why Riptide can do all three champs.
Which one's Riptide?
It's the Crucible Fusion Wanted.
Crucible.
If you get Chill Clip on it, when you're raiding, it does anti-barrier. The slow from Chill Clip will do Overload, and then more Chill Clip will freeze them, which stuns unstops.
Yeah, because that was another one. Again, they were talking about using with the Riptide with the Chill Clip, and I can't remember the other perk off the top of my head now.
I have autoloading on mine.
Yeah, I think it was probably something along those lines of freeze them, go to town on them, swap back, freeze them again.
Go down,
which is slightly less powerful because they nerfed Chill Clip, but it still works.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a horde mode. I just need you to slow down for a minute while I swap over.
Yeah, just the slowing even is useful.
Yeah. I can just put some ice in front of you to slow you down, and then go, hold on, I'll be back to murder you in just a sec.
Yeah, I mean, I did, like you were talking about with the Warlock builds, and I did see that people were using the Verglass Curve, which was the stasis bow, because it's underutilized as well. And what was the other one? Wicked Implement, which is the scout rifle.
Yep.
And they were using with the Osmomancy gloves. And I think the idea is that you throw out a turret first. That starts freezing people. Then you throw out the grenade that then does the tracking. And then that it keeps proccing, having two grenades up all the time because you've got so many enemies that are being frozen and so many enemies that are kind of just taking stasis damage and using the bow and getting just like shards everywhere. It just kind of constantly procs it. And the same with the build that Aztecross kind of put out last week with the Salvation's Grip. And I put on the chest piece for the Titans, the Hoarfrost Sea. So instead of having a barricade, it will put up the ice wall as well. So
which still acts like a barricade.
Yeah.
It gives you like the rally barricade thing still.
That was fantastic to just block off a whole area if we were taking so much damage from things and then just blocking off this whole area and then being able to use Salvation's Grip to then just destroy those crystals to then freeze everything, and they take so much damage. And even in the boss rooms, that was doing fantastic. I was just firing it from miles away over the top, hitting the boss. The boss was freezing. And I think because my other teammates were using light subclasses, they were doing extra damage because I think there was, I can't remember if it's on the artifact or not, if that you using a stasis or using a dark subclass, then they give some extra damage on using light, or was that something else? Just, it looked like the boss was just being melted anyway. It was just fantastic. But yes, it's Onslaught is just a cool mode, and I'm really appreciated that they've kind of put it in the game. And I know a lot of people are like, I've gone in there, got my weapons, and I'm burnt out. But I'm not going in there to get the weapons. I'm going in there to try loads of different builds and have so much fun with putting weapons and builds.
It's a really good like litmus test for a lot of stuff.
Absolutely going in there for the weapons.
No. The weapons are a bonus to it, and I really do enjoy the weapons. Now, I just want to clear this up with you guys, because this is how I'm understanding the weapons are going. Okay,
Mhm.
so we've got the Brave Arsenal, which are a set of 12 weapons, and at the moment we've only got 6.
Yep.
And those 6 can kind of drop from the chests in the game. Now,
Mhm.
from what I can see is there are 3 different versions of these weapons. Okay, so you get a normal weapon to drop that gives you different perks on there. You can also get a curated rolled one, which has the gold shimmer on it. So I think once you do the first quest from
Our site.
Our site, he gives you the Elsie's rifle, which is the curated roll one.
Which is a dumb roll. Demolitionist? Come on.
It's rewind rounds and adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Adrenaline junkie is what I meant. Yeah. Rewind is fine. I'm okay with that. With the adrenaline junkie, I don't get that. Why?
Adrenaline junkie's good.
There's so many better perks they could have put there besides adrenaline junkie. I'm not saying adrenaline junkie is not good, but I'm saying like
because it's just the one they hand you.
So many better combinations to go with rewind.
Well, no, that's their curated rolled one.
Right. It's just the one they hand you. It's not the one you're going to have. It's just here's the one we're going to hand you out of the gate.
Yeah, I think a lot of what they were trying to do with the curated rolls, especially with a lot of the older stuff, is to try and like mimic what it used to have. Like Recluse, the curated roll for Recluse is basically what it used to have as a fixed roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think especially with Elsie's rifle, at least they tried to sort of emulate how it felt in D1, especially with it having rewind rounds. Obviously, adrenaline junkie wasn't like a thing back then.
Yeah, but so you get the like the gold shimmer on it as well, and then the third version of these brave weapons is that once you get to, I think it's wave 40 and 50, you can get a chance at the gold weapons to drop with the multiple perks, and those are the ones that you want to kind of keep to enhance when the like weapon enhanced perks come with the final shape. So there are 3 different versions. Am I correct in this?
So I believe technically yes. I believe what I've heard is that the curated versions only drop from the quests that our site has. And then
so
once
you're guaranteed to get those anyway.
Yeah,
and
you can
enhance those ones
when freebie shiny. That's like maybe decent depending on what the character roll is. And then, but the regular shiny weapons with the double perks can drop from anything.
Okay.
Like any source of a brave weapon can drop a shiny. They're just super rare.
Yes.
People have been like, oh, if you do it on Legend, you should get one guaranteed. And everyone's like, no,
it's something to chase. Like that's
supposed to be rare.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen a lot of people talk about this week. It's like there's finally something worth chasing in Destiny. There's finally something that makes you excited when it drops.
Yeah,
it's
people,
not. Oh, here's the 9th time I've gotten.
People have been very split on like how rare they should be. Because I know, like, I was watching Datto's video on it, and he was talking about how like it's the first time he's been like excited for a gun that's like this rare to drop. Because we like with exotics, especially, like they're just not rare anymore. Like in D1. Exotics were like a rare thing that you got, and it was super exciting. Where now it's like it's just the uniqueness of them, and not really like the rarity, because we're just like fed exotics.
Yeah, no, I'm literally going and cleaning out my exotic holding pen every other week because I have too many to keep, and I'm going, this is silly.
Like, oh, you mean I can buy 2 exotics from Xur each week for free?
Right, or just play 3 games of Gambit and get another exotic. And just
play 9 games
and
3 exotics.
Yeah. And I can focus the exact thing I want over and over again as long as I've got materials. I can go pull a bunch of precious scars. Going, I can get the one I want, or at least a better roll than what I have.
Yeah. See, I've had exotics drop in Onslaught. I've had 2, and I haven't played. I haven't played vast amounts of Onslaught, and I've had 2 exotics to drop, and I'm like, really? I don't need any more exotics. I've got all the exotics.
I'm good. I promise you, I'm good.
Stop filling me up with exotics, because I've got like I've got 6 of those eerie engrams that I'm saving for next year or this year, coming up with the haunted.
Oh, to focus them.
Mm-hmm.
Or to do something with them. I just want to keep them.
You should focus them for something,
because
it will be something good.
As I said to the guys the other week, I saw a video that somebody had Iron Banner engrams, which I'd also had Iron Banner engrams kind of saved in my track from way back when. And if you pop them now, you had a chance at getting the Multimac and the Tusk of the Boar to drop before Iron Banner rolled around. And that's what I did. And it was only because I had those in my collections or in my track of like engrams on my person rather than kind of visiting Lord Saladin. So I did those, and they gave me the Tusk of the Boar and the Multimac.
Oh, yeah. So that's unique too, because usually like, yeah, usually the actual Iron Banner engrams are only at Saladin, but those are like the only time you can get Iron Banner stuff to like actually decrypt is if it's like a post-match thing and your thing is full.
Yeah, you hang on to them. You can leave them in your postmaster, but these were actual Iron Banner engrams from way back when he actually just threw them at you, and you had to hold them in your like engram selection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hang on to things like that. So when they start giving me exotics also in that track, and then my postmaster starts getting filled up, and I'm like, no, please don't do that.
I have those there for a reason.
Yeah, but I did manage to get a Hung Jura to drop, which had the double perks. So I've got Accurized rounds and steady rounds with rapid hit and shoot to loot, or precision instrument and desperate measures on there. So that's
solid.
It seems to be pretty solid. I've also got one that's just like a standard one that has got steady rounds, rewind rounds, and the desperate measures on there that I kind of liked.
Nice.
So
I got a regular one as well with no distractions and box breathing.
Okay.
Which unless they've changed it significantly, it should be able to 3-tap in Crucible still. Whereas normally precisions need 4 hits.
Yeah.
Box breathing it boosts the 1 shot. So I haven't tried it yet, but I got rid of.
You have to sit still for quite some time, don't you, for that, or look down sights? For that?
It's like no distractions is 1 second. Box breathing is 1.5 seconds.
Okay.
So not really. If you're using a scout and you're all like perched up, you'll be fine.
No, I won't. So
that's why no distractions is really nice.
I won't. You'll be fine. I won't.
That's why no distractions is really nice on Mida, because one of the downsides of using no distractions is that you lose your radar for that like 1 second, which can be a big deal. But you keep your radar up with Mida, so it's like it's way better of a catalyst perk than Outlaw. Let's say that, because it used to have Outlaw as the catalyst, and everyone's like, this is pointless.
And the one thing that I did hear that people have pointed out is that the bounties that you can get from our site to do the weapons, to focus the weapons, that if you don't want to kind of pollute your loot pool, if you're looking for like the Elsie's rifle or the Recluse or just something that you can kind of, the Hung Jura right now or whatever, and you want to kind of keep it kind of small like we used to do. I think I can't remember what it was that we were able to do this. Don't complete those bounties, because if you complete the bounties, that will start flooding your loot pool and you'll have less chances of getting the ones that you want. So just focus the one, if you want to kind of just do the Recluse one or the Elsie's rifle one, get the perfect roll for yourself, then move on to the next bounty and do that. Because I think a lot of people have kind of rushed through it, or I say that the streamers say, if you rush through it, I'm like, I haven't had a chance to rush through it, but you may have probably done all of them and then suddenly realized that you could have done this.
I don't believe that's true, because I know I got a Hung Jury at some point, like before I completed the quest.
Yeah, I've had so many Hung Juries, and I've had the Edge Transits, I've had so many sniper rifles and the Elsie's rifles, but I haven't had I've had a couple of Recluses, but they're not the ones I liked.
That's what the attuning is for.
No, it's not. Don't tell me lies. I've attuned to Elsie's rifle, and do you think I've had one Elsie's rifle since I've attuned? No, I have not.
Yeah, so have I. The attunement was working for me like the first 2 days, and then it's been a little less.
No, let's just say it's not working.
Weighted.
Let me show you my Recluse collection.
I will say, with in terms of people running through it quick, a couple people have like maxed out their Onslaught rank with Shax.
Yes,
and he doesn't have an extra rank track once you max it out.
No, in the API, isn't it? It's kind of just
there's nothing there.
But that happened with Xur. Do you remember that happened with Xur, didn't it? When he was the 30th anniversary of Xur, people were able to kind of get.
I believe so.
He didn't reset for a while, and then I think Bungie went back in and had to do a kind of reset because people were complaining.
Oh, interesting. Well, because the issue with Shax is that once you max him out, you can't turn in the engrams anymore.
Oh dear.
So maybe.
Or actually, no, that's not true. You can turn them in, but you can't get more of them because you can't rank up with them anymore.
Well, which one is it?
You're getting the drops obviously from like Onslaught and stuff, but like you can't get any more engrams from his reputation anymore.
You've hyped him up too much.
Yeah,
that will teach you.
He's hyped up enough.
That'll teach you to take your this is meant to tide you over between now and final shape, and you do it in a weekend. Then that's what you get.
That's what you get.
Yeah, but that's Super Black failure.
Guys, Super Black is time gated anyway. Just take your time.
Right.
Yeah.
You have 3 weeks before it comes out anyway. Slow down.
Yeah.
A couple of other things from Onslaught is it's an old kind of glitch or a bug or a cheese that you can kind of do with duplicating the balls.
Ball duping. Yep. It's back.
Mhm.
It's back and it's really good, especially if you're a hunter. You can do the dodge and just overload that ADU with like batteries and just build up so much scrap. That's fantastic. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard.
What did you say? What about dodging and scrapping?
You can dupe the ADU batteries with Hunter Dodge.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
It's the first time we've had a ball dupe in like 2 years.
Well,
and it'd be useful, basically.
Well, the ones still exist in the dungeon, and they're useful-ish.
Yeah.
You can't ball dupe in pit anymore.
I know a guy that was doing it for me the other day that begs to differ. Question mark?
I think there was a way that you could still do it, but I can't remember how.
Well, I know originally with pit there was one way you could do it, and then they fixed it,
and then you could do it,
and then you could do it the other way. Like it was like because it was like banking and then switching weapons, and then they fixed that, but then switching and then banking worked, and then I think they fixed that. I have not heard of any new
now there's
duping tech for pit in a long time.
Yeah.
Somebody was doing it for me. I don't know how he was doing it, but we two-man dungeon, and he just dunk, and I was like, all right, cool.
Maybe he was just killing the guys fast.
No, I was killing. He was dunking. Rather, I should say, I killed, and he grabbed the ball, and then by the time I got to the next guy and killed him, he was done. There's a better way to say it. Do these things not have matchmaking? What the fluff? Hold on.
What do you want matchmaking on?
The Onslaught.
The 50 wave does not. The 10 does.
The 50 wave. The normal 50 wave does.
Or I'm sorry, the normal 50 wave does. The legend does not.
Well,
yeah.
Normal's
fine. Normal be fine while you're doing the show.
You said you've played this game before, Respawn. This is exactly.
This
is Destiny. Well, yeah.
Well, then I guess you better find a fire team.
Yeah, if only there was a way you could get onto your mobile phone.
If only you could do it in the game. There's a fire team finder.
If I get with a team that I know, they're going to want to.
Yeah, but I think they also have it on the phone now. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's in beta there now too.
Yeah.
Don't do it in the game. Why would you ever do things in the game? Come on.
I actually just used the fire team finder in game like yesterday to do the master dungeon encounter for the bounty.
The fire team finder, I still think it's toxic because people will come in, waste all your revives, and then they leave like you did something wrong.
That was just that.
No, it's
several
not been
occurrences that we've had.
It's been other incidents I've had like that, bro. Yes, it happened with you as well.
That sounds like every LFG ever.
Yeah. That's
everything
Destiny 1 that I've had people do that in raids. You get to Oryx and they suddenly just dip out because they can't handle the mechanics and they can't communicate to say they can't do the mechanics. And if they just stuck around, we would have explained it to them rather than kind of them just dipping.
Also, I wanted to talk to you guys Lingering Dread, you know that, right? What the Lingering Dread is?
Yeah.
The grenade launcher?
Blinding and chill. I don't know if y'all mentioned that. So it's a double whammy.
That's true. It's just not we were talking about craftable ones.
And where could I get one of those?
Duality.
Yeah.
It's the Duality Jill.
Like the one that I have has chill clip, auto loading holster, and blinding, and it's money.
Oh, nice. Yeah, a friend of mine has that role. I'm like, that's literally the best one. So good job.
Yeah, thank you.
You're done.
So another thing that's in Onslaught is that there are lightning rounds like we had in the 30th anniversary. So at the end of the boss wave at 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, you can have a billion tormentors spawning and just try and destroy you. But your super generates like mayhem. It generates really fast and you can kind of just take them out.
Nice.
So that is very random. I haven't seen it yet. And I don't know whether that's just on Legend or Master. But
it happened to me. It has happened to me once in normal mode after like the second boss.
Okay.
So I think it's just it's obviously easier the earlier you find it.
Yeah.
And the mayhem definitely helps.
That's cool.
I think each tormentor gives you like a brave token.
Ooh. So it's worth killing them.
Yeah.
So
either you kill them or you die.
Yeah.
I know Demon knew, but blinding grenade weapons actually do damage now. So, fun stuff.
That's ironic because they actually just nerfed them.
Well, they do damage now instead of just blinding. There's actually a semblance amount of damage that goes with it. So I dig that.
Yeah, that happened. I think that happened this season, and then they nerfed them again, like just Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, this Tuesday? No.
Yeah.
What?
They reduced the damage and blinding radius by 15%.
Oh, the blinding radius I knew, but yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, they reduced the damage too.
Well, that's sad, Panda.
Yeah.
Which it blinds way farther than it actually does damage.
Almost like they knew they were going to release an activity
With a whole bunch of
that everyone was going to run this on. It's like every time you see a patch note, you're like, "What are you bringing out that's going to make this very advantageous
clear
for
an
me?"
entire spawn.
The other thing is that you can hide in the boss room behind where the boss spawns.
Yes.
So if you can get there quick enough, you can hide, which I have done quite a few times.
Or if you're an Invis hunter, just saying.
Or if you're a Weave Walk Warlock.
Or just a Titan, then you just wander up there.
Yeah.
Just wander, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wander and say, I live here now. This is my new home.
I live here now. You can't get me. You're just a big ogre, and you can't destroy me. Ha ha ha.
Just a big ogre. All right.
Well, I mean, technically, he did destroy me, but
We got there in the end.
Listen, but I'd run out to get him because he had like a slither
left the
of health. I left the hidey hole after I'd fired millions.
Was he a snake or near death? I'm curious.
He was. It was a slither, and I'd fired off all of my dragon's breath, and he had a slither of health. And I thought, I've got my super up, my pyro gauntlets. I'm just going to run out there, do my slam, and then hopefully he'll die. And he died, and I died, but my other two teammates were still alive, so it was all happy hunky dory.
Yeah, so it's a win in my book.
It was a win-win-win.
What was it that Jack Sparrow said? You live, you get to die for her. I live, everybody's happy.
Thank you, Caretaker, for having useful nooks to hide in your room.
Yes.
That's going to get nerfed. That's going to go away.
I don't know. It might do. But yeah. I mean, it's not too much of a challenge because I've seen people burning down the bosses in legend mode. It's like, do you need to hide? Well, I need to hide, yes.
Yeah.
But do you need to hide? No, you don't. So.
Some of us, yes. Depends what build you're running. If you don't have all the health, yeah.
And I think the other thing that I did mention earlier is that you can take a breather in the pyramid ship, so you don't have to jump back through the portal. Yep. So even after you've done the kind of spark, or even if you've kind of destroyed the boss, if your team wants a breather before you kind of go back in or charge up your super, so you just go straight in with a super, you can do that. You can just sit on the pyramid ship until you kind of want to go back, as long as the portal's there, obviously. So.
Which it may or may not, depending how it feels.
Yeah. So those are the things that I've kind of kept a note of this week. Is there anything else that I've kind of missed with Onslaught that you guys want to bring up, or I may have forgotten that you guys have heard in the wind?
I don't think so.
I just need to play more of it.
There, bud.
Well, you say this, but there's probably something I've missed.
There's absolutely something you missed, but the show's long enough. So
it can be longer.
Yeah, well, you got the.
Yeah, we haven't.
Make it longer.
Cover the maps, cover the enemies, cover the rewards.
We haven't even talked about the Whisper coming back. Have you guys done your Whisper mission yet?
That's so true. I have. I did it. It was like one of the first things I did. I soloed it in like 13 minutes.
Yeah, I did as well. I was like, I could do this normal. Yeah, you've given me 40 minutes, but I can do it normal.
Yeah. And then I also did it on Legend, which apparently is bugged.
Yes.
So it was pretty chill.
But if you bugged it away where I could leisurely do it. Because I'm only ever going to do it once. I'm never going back in.
Well, you have to do it at least 4 times to level Whisper all the way.
No, you don't. No.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
No, you can do it once and say, I have this, and then you put it in your vault and you never think of that again. Just like you did the first time around, and then wait for Bungie just to hand it to you like a year from now.
Well, if you get to when you kill the 3 original bosses, and then once you get like to the 4th final boss, if you're at that point, the timer won't boot you.
Ooh.
And have you seen the Cheese Forever video where you can just cheese those 3 bosses?
I certainly have.
I have not seen that because I just kill them.
So instead of summoning those 3 bosses by shooting the kind of oracle things,
the cubes,
if you go underneath them and you strand your way up underneath, you can get into those bubbles and just destroy those bosses while they're in their bubbles.
From underneath with like Wither Horde and stuff.
Oh yeah, Wither Horde works as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's basically just like a floor, like from where the the taken energy is coming from for those bubbles, there's a floor you can just hop onto and go, you can be in your bubble like a good Titan. I'm going to kill you anyway.
Oh, would you look at that?
So
I think I might do that before it gets bugged.
I'm going to go take a look at that right now. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm basically waiting for someone to say, hey, we're doing Whisper, and I'll go, okay, I guess I'll go talk to Eris more, and then...
Oh, Moira apparently is going to go check it out, and if he goes, I'll go with him.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Outbreak. I don't care about Whisper. I did Whisper once last time around with Nitedemon in its bugged form, where we had basically no timer. And yeah, that's how I'll do it this time too. Some variation.
Yeah, I like variation. Whisper. I like that they made Whisper not like you can't cheese the boss anymore, which is good. Well, I guess you can now, but they took away like the safe spot that we used to have.
Yeah. Did you try and slide straight down and then suddenly realize no?
I did. I just hopped down there blindly the first time I was down there. I'm like, oh, I died.
Yeah, and I did it again. I was like, what? Why am I dying? this is the way, isn't it? And then I saw the little crack. And I was like, this is not the way.
Oh, that's a huge pit.
Yeah,
where there wasn't a pit before.
And there's also an Oracle cheese as well. So if you're going after the white nail upgrades for it and the oracles for the ships, there's also a cheese for it. And I think Astrocross covers it in his video. And I will link the cheese for every video and the Astrocross video and any other videos that we've kind of mentioned going through this as well. If we get to the end, I'll remember them, I'll cover them again. But yeah.
Well, I know what I'll be doing today after work.
Do you know what the Oracle cheese is?
No.
Yes. So as long as you've got kind of 3 people with you that haven't shot, if they haven't shot the oracles yet, you take like 2 other people with you and you can shoot the oracle. It will give you the white nail perk 1, 2, and 3. And then if you take somebody else in there that hasn't also shot the oracles and you can shoot where the oracle is, even though you can't see it anymore, you'll get another, you can upgrade it to like the white nail perk 4, I think. So you need people that haven't already kind of shot it. So you've got to use and abuse.
This is the role I'm going to play. Guy who hasn't done it.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Because I know people. I'm pretty sure the oracles are like time gated for the ship. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but I think the amount of people that you take in there that haven't shot the oracles, it will give you like. Actually, I don't think the ship one works, but the white nail one for the crafting of the weapon works. You'd have to go and watch the Astrocross video. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, because the thing I heard is that people know where the oracles are going to be next because you can see them even if they're not there yet. If you like look where they are, your reticle will go red.
Yeah, I've seen that people have kind of this is where it's going to be this week, and this is we don't know which week these are going to pop up.
It will be here someday.
It's going to be here at some point. And the other thing that I got confused with is that on the quest for the Whisper, I'd gone in and done the Whisper, then shot the Taken to progress to the next part of the quest. And then it said, go and kill the blights in the first room. And I was like, okay. So I ran to the first room on legend difficulty, because you have to do it on legend difficulty.
Yep.
And when I was destroying all the enemies, destroyed all the blights, the quest didn't progress. I was like, well, maybe it means the whole of those rooms with the blights in it. So I destroyed all those blights, and I was like, nothing happened. And I was like, maybe it's in the boss room. I have to destroy the blights. Went down there, was destroying the blights. Timer ran out anyway, because I was like, what's happening here? And then I saw the video.
Like our first room anymore.
Then I saw the video on how to do it, because it's literally the first room that you spawn into before you even jump down into the Whisper mission. I was like, oh,
there's new blights.
There's new blights, and they're not the blights that I thought they were blights. So don't do
not the blights you're looking for.
And you have to shoot them with Whisper.
Yes. But I think that was also in the Astrocross video that I kind of watched after.
Can you use your old Whisper to finish your new Whisper mission?
I was going to ask you, can you do that? No,
I don't know, because I fused it into something else, because it was one of the things that was 1810 that I just
collections.
I don't know. I don't know if you can.
You
something. What, the original one?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. But something that isn't in the collections at the moment is the weapons that are coming next week with the Brave Arsenal. Which should be the Midnight Coup and the Mountaintop.
Yep.
So they should be next week.
Mountaintop, let's go.
Thank God they did not wait until the 4th week for Mountaintop.
Right? A hunter after my own heart. See?
People would have been
everybody can get it and never play it again. Or just
I love Mountaintop.
Of it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everyone will go get their mountaintop and then peace out. But I mean, they're going to do that anyway. It doesn't matter what week it comes out.
Yeah.
Some of you don't love a horde mode, playing it over and over again for years for absolutely no reason.
So yeah, Onslaught, good game mode. Keep it in the game. Don't get rid of it when Final Shape releases.
Which they're not. So
just give us more. Just give us more maps. And
they're just going to put it where Gambit was.
They're going to give us.
No, it's going in Vanguard Ops actually.
No, it's going to replace Gambit. I'm calling it now.
It should go in the Gambit section.
They're going to take Gambit out of the game like they really want to do, and they're going to stick this here and go, this is new Gambit. Enjoy it. Love it. We gave it to Shax. We laid the drifter off.
Modes, dude.
There's enough things in the Vanguard Ops. You just put it in the Gambit thing and then rename the Gambit node to something else that incorporates Onslaught and Gambit. And then maybe put the Reckoning back in there every now and then.
Yeah.
It's more like the Forges than Gambit.
I was going to say, yeah, thank you.
Well, then bring the Forges back too and put those in there as well.
No, you have jaded views on the Forges. Okay, the guns were good from the Forges, but the Forges were boring and monotonous.
That's not true. If you didn't like the Forges, you probably don't like Onslaught.
The Forges were just the early.
Forges were really. I like the Forges a lot. They were cool.
It's just another horde mode. Forges were just a horde mode. It's all horde modes. Forges, Gambit, and Onslaught are the same game.
True.
All horde mode. It's all walk over here, shoot the lads again, and shoot the lads until they've stopped moving, and then hey, there's more lads.
Peroty, you know what I figured out? The reason why we had that new game mode implemented, there was an update 7.3.6 that happened this week that brought Onslaught and other things into the game.
Was there?
There was.
You just want to watch the world burn, don't you?
I do.
Who doesn't?
So are we? All right, we're going to skip over the weapon changes because we've already talked about those more than once.
Have we?
We have.
Don't remember that.
Respawn, you don't remember anything, so you don't count.
No.
You can't call me out like that. That's jacked up. This is a disability, okay?
Will. I've been calling you out for years, so this isn't new. Don't act like this is the first time.
But I can be offended nowadays. It's 2024.
You could have been offended there too, and the fact that you weren't, that's kind of on you there, bud.
Wow.
You had plenty of ability to be offended whenever you wanted to be. Just like I can tell you that they've updated the player tooltips in Crucible to correctly display which matchmaking style is used for each mode. Which I saw, and I put in the roundup because I missed. I'd read that and then missed it. Telling us what matchmaking we're actually using in the game, so we can stop guessing.
They changed it a while ago, but then it was still like a little wrong, and so they changed it again.
They changed it, and they're like, it's gonna be this now, and no one could ever keep track of it because you wouldn't ever tell us in the game. So they did that now. They also fixed an issue where the special ammo crate was incorrectly displayed in the announcements when you picked it up on Vostok. The hardware modifier that's in Crucible Lab now for testing. They added a sound effect for the special ammo incoming announcement when the special ammo crate is about to spawn. So if you've been playing, the game has a special ammo crate itself, it'll now tell you when it's coming. In competitive, they've removed the survival and countdown rush from the playlist, thank God, and replaced it with Clash and Collision.
It's Clash now.
Yeah, Countdown Rush. I'm so tired of Countdown Rush. So yeah,
Clash and Collision. I don't know why they got rid of Survival. I like Survival, but yeah, Countdown needed to go.
Yeah, Survival's fun, but Countdown Rush, no, thank you. Yeah, Countdown. And Collision, just as a reminder, is the the King of the Hill mode, and they've updated the zone placements for Vostok and Dead Cliffs. Also updated several special ammo crate placements on Ultra Flames, Anomaly, Endless Veil, Eternity, and the Multiplex. And in Clash, they replaced the special ammo meter with the special ammo crates for 3v3 Clash.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, we also have a unified competitive rule set for Collision and Clash. 10-minute games, 7 respawns allowed, and revives are enabled. Your special ammo.
I guess they can do that when they're both like not round based.
Yeah, so now we have the same thing. You can understand what you're playing and what you're meant to do. There's also 4 special ammo crates every 60 seconds, and those are shared. And you have 1 single heavy ammo spawn every 120 seconds, which is not shared. And also, they made those changes to the not swap modifier. So if you're changing the ammo types for your kinetic and energy weapons, it'll take your ammo away. So remember, you can change from a special to a different special, but you can't change from a special to kinetic and keep your ammo. They've also reduced the variation in the competitive rank adjustment on each match completion. So it should be a little more understandable how you go up and down.
Well, also clarifying for the not swap. You lose special ammo anyway when you swap special weapons in Crucible, but it drains your ability energy. Also, is the big thing with not swap.
Well, there you go.
Because that's what it used to be like. Swapping exotic armor would do it because they didn't want you to swap to hot swap to Curus, or people didn't use Curus, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like only on super. If it's only effective while you're in super anyway, it's basically using 2 exotics.
Yeah, people on PC who could swap quick enough for that to be useful for them.
Yeah.
And now they can't at all. In Trials, we've got your post-game weapon drops will now reward the weekly weapon. So like for this week, it's Summoner.
That's cool.
You'll get just Summoners and not a menagerie of other things. And this is one of the first 2 weeks in Trials where they're testing out the special ammo crate variant along with the not swap modifier, which based on the Twitter vibes, people are not in love with. I wouldn't know because I haven't set foot. Have either of you set foot into Trials this weekend to test out the special ammo crate and Summoner drops?
I've seen a clip on TikTok this morning, and I can't remember who it was. It was somebody like Grenadier Jake. I think it was Grenadier Jake. He ran to the first ammo crate, picked it up at his spawn. He then ran to the second one. There was no enemies near. He then had his Ignami Burden sniper rifle, reloaded it, had the 4 shots, 1 shot body shot. It's like free kill.
It'll do that.
Yep. And you can do that every single round.
Sounds perfect. Love it. No changes are needed or necessary. There are changes though in raids and dungeons. Crota's End, they fixed an issue where all players could die and wipe at the same time that Crota is defeated, awarding loot, but not giving you completion for the encounter.
I didn't realize that was an actual, I didn't realize it didn't count for the encounter clear. That's annoying. That is good that they fixed that.
Well, we got the loot, though.
Yeah. That's what it's saying, but it wouldn't give you, credit for the clear.
Yeah, it wouldn't give you the clear, so you could
that probably means it wouldn't be able to drop, essence and stuff.
Right, and it also wouldn't give you credit toward, any number of things where you have to clear
any sort of clear encounter,
finish the raid. You can finish all the encounters. Well, you didn't. Just kidding.
That's good.
Deep Stone Crypt, our buddy Atrax, they fixed an issue where shooting him attached to a player would cause the ammo to spawn.
No, they should have kept that. That's funny.
Well, they fixed it now, so I don't know. Warlord's Ruin, they fixed an issue where the jail puzzle where glaive projectiles and bow arrows could not hit targets consistently. Good. So now they can hit them consistently. In the Ogre encounter where the Warden Knight on the right side of the stage, he would spawn totems consistently. So now he should be a more consistent spawner of totems.
Hopefully it goes better than the last fix.
Hopefully. The respawn placements in the room with the giant taken orb and the flying debris hazards, they've improved those. So maybe you won't be murdered immediately, but maybe you will. Val the Disciple, they adjusted some of the visual effects in the final encounter to mitigate some photosensitivity concerns. So always good times.
That's cool.
Free roam, they fixed an issue where the game could crash with the Arsenal Walk Republic event. So now it shouldn't do that. There's a loud volume spike that could occur when you exit the Finch vendor screen in the Throne World, which is never fun. So that's better now. UI and UX, hey, they fixed an issue where players had to spam click to give commendations to other players that left their activity. Also, where direct launching a quest from the quest detail screen wouldn't always launch players to the landing zone closest to the objective. Also fixed an issue where the Dawning Emblem icon displayed no background. The Legacy button on the character select screen wasn't working. The Iron Banner Legacy ornaments were missing a reward acquire sound. The Stasis subclass category icons with the Exo Stranger / Elsie vendor were using void iconography.
They're actually blue now.
Or the icons for the Trials Auto Rifle Strike, Grenade Launcher, and Dungeon Pulse Rifle Relentless were facing the incorrect way. Thank you.
I always love reading stuff like that in patch notes because it makes me wonder how many people these patch notes go through, because they didn't the only one they named there was Relentless. They didn't say the names of the other 2 guns.
Oh no, we don't speak of those.
Yeah, I guess
those are secrets.
The auto rifle that must not be named.
The auto rifle and that strike grenade launcher, which
yeah,
the one. Maybe Respawn just reviewed these and they're like, the one that came from Trials, the auto rifle, that one.
Yeah, that one. What's wrong with that?
Oh, the strike grenade launcher. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. That
also, the icon for the Warlock Guardian Games class wasn't accurately representing the armor art, and now it does.
Oh, actually, they might have named Relentless because Prophecy has 2 pulse rifles.
Well, there we go.
That would make
The more
sense.
you know.
Never mind. It all makes sense.
So there are English majors there working at Bungie, and they did review them.
First of all, I think
This was a needed
you're
specification.
assuming too many things there.
Yeah.
Jared.
Hey, guess what? In Fireteam Finder, they reduced the size of the banner on the roster screen.
They did.
They added animation to the listing when successfully submitting an application. They improved the notification for applications and join requests to the roster contacts when players don't own the required game content. Players will now be able to see all players included in the application to help a more informed decision when applying or joining listings. So if you're seeing Respawn as part of the team, you can make decisions based on that.
Yay! Stay away.
They improved the listing settings and filters stored for quicker listing creation. Pressing reset in the join filter screen didn't reset the options. Now it does. Fixed issues where a random select button appeared in the application screen. Spamming buttons could load an empty application screen. And the wrong selection screen appeared in the Fireteam Finder when launching the activity selection screen while already in a Fireteam. And where the accept application pop-up would shift when attempting to accept applications.
A lot of UI goofiness.
I've seen so many funny UIs of you try to press the button runs from you. Well, now we had a real one. Love it.
Oh, and like there was a banner that was popping up like when it initially came out that just didn't have anything on it. you'd quit, like you'd cancel an application or something, and it's just like nothing. I'm like, okay, good to know, I guess. And with the icon,
quit the Fireteam Finder.
Yeah, with the banner being size reduced, they shrunk it like lengthwise, so it's only over the friends list and the clan list. So the nearby list is back up to the original size of 12, so you can see like a whole lobby in one page now. Again.
Oh yeah, look at that. Fancy. You can tell I haven't been on this game this week to go, oh hey, look, these things look different now.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying for like Crucible matches because you could only see like 8 of the 12 at a time.
Right.
Now you can see the whole gang.
There you go. They also fixed issues in localization where text overlaps and alignment in various languages. The Guardian O screen were hard to read, and font issues for some languages. The Summon Fireteam button, so now you can read the game as it's telling you what to do.
Yay for non-English speakers.
Yeah, a couple of armor changes. They extended the handling bonus granted by the Lucky Pants' illegally modded holster buff by 2 seconds, so it lasts until the Out of Luck debuff is activated. They fixed an issue where the visual bump would occur when overload artifact perks were triggered.
That's good. That was annoying.
Yeah. Fixed an issue where weapons could change their element type. Where weapons that can change their element type were benefiting from multiple surge bonuses at once.
Panda.
Where the intrinsic perk Warlord's Sigil used an incorrect item for freeze.
Yeah, it said encased instead.
Ooh, fun. And then there's all the weapon archetype changes, which we told you about, which if you don't remember, you too can go and read all about these because we've covered them over and over and over again.
It's just some damage changes.
Yeah.
And Mountaintop becoming a physics gun.
Right. Damage changes, nothing too terribly exciting. Also, the flinch changes have come to Crucible now. Your Wish Ender, your Sunshot, your Forerunner have been tweaked a little bit in Crucible. Our Dreaming City weapons are still not dropping with their... Or I'm sorry, they finally fixed the issue where the reprised weapons are dropping with the Burnished Dreams and the Blue Shift Dreams shader. So if you've been sitting here going, why can I still not get this? Now you can, in theory. The Last Right Scout Rifle now looks right. When you scrap those weapons from the Dreaming City, they'll now give you... they improve the likelihood of you getting the weapons with those shaders on them. The Xenology quest from Zerg incorrectly stated that having the exotic cipher would prevent rewarding another despite the player being eligible. The Word of Crota was using the incorrect stat group. The fix an issue with photosensitivity with the Outbreak perfected. Fix an issue with the Mountaintop and Jotun's hipfire reticles. Those weren't centered, so now they should be centered. Your Vengeful Whisper, where an arrow was visible when holstered and stored in the player's back. Fix an issue where the updated Dreaming City weapons were not appearing in collections, and where the notifications specific to the coil could appear in the Riven's Lair, just for a little bit of spiciness.
Oh yeah, that's like if you were playing Riven's Lair, you'd get notifications that like, oh, you found a revive token, even though doesn't matter in Riven's Lair.
Yeah, did you now? Also, hey, if you're trying, if you say have a character that hasn't finished your strand, they reduce the cost of the fragments from the Pokemon from 200 meditations to 100 meditations.
Pokemon.
So if you've had 100 something, now you can go unlock strand and move on with your life. The overload or anti-barrier capabilities granted through artifact mods or subclass keywords could reduce ignition damage caused by some weapons. So they fixed that now.
Yippee! That was a pretty long-standing issue.
Yeah. Issue where the completing the 2023 Moments of Triumph title didn't count toward the appropriate Guardian rank objective. So now it does. And finally, Dares and Wellspring Fire Team Finders would try to launch the salvage activity. Because why are you playing Dares? To go play salvage. That's what the game wants you to do. The chill out finisher effects persist after the finisher ends. Yeah, you're like, I'm going to go play Wellspring. No, just kidding. You're in salvage now. Surprise! And
Oops.
The Ascendant Realm, the fiction issue that was causing the Ascendant Realm sky to block out the Dreaming City skybox in certain areas.
Does it look good now?
It was just here for the eclipse, I assume. They're just celebrating the eclipse. That's fine. And finally, they fixed an issue where players could regenerate their skimmer energy midair by resummoning their skimmer.
No!
That's why people
prophecy skips in shambles right now.
Yeah, I'll just say it doesn't because I watched the Chief Forever video of Whisper him going, why aren't you just flying over with the skimmer?
Yeah,
that's would be why.
No, you can't take that in there.
Oh, you can't even take it in at all. Interesting.
No. Well, you should be able to. You just can't resummon it.
So rip flying over all of Prophecy's Rainbow Road on your skimmer.
You can fly over a little bit of Prophecy with your skimmer.
You now have to murder the lads. Too bad.
Yes. Or you can just Shatterscape like you used to.
Yeah. You have to use one of 19 other methods to do that.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all
use
the changes
a sparrow.
That they can tell us about. Yeah, silliness.
In the sparrow section?
Yeah.
What Sparrow against or Sparrow, what do they call that?
I mean, it's Rainbow Road. You can just use the road.
Mm-hmm.
I was even talking about sparrow flying. Just use the road.
You can just drive.
Flying,
yeah.
So yeah, those are the handful of patches they gave us. So again, as well as all the weapon tuning.
Update.
Yeah.
Also,
all the weapon tuning.
Can't your Architects just fly over the whole thing?
No.
Any Titan can technically just sword fly over it.
No, I mean fly.
Your boots.
No.
Missile does not go nearly that far.
Oh yeah, no. Thunder Crash doesn't go anywhere near that far.
Oh, there's
not
a range
even
for that?
close.
Oh,
yeah. It also
yes.
yeah, I mean it'll just run out for starters. It has a duration.
Yeah.
But also the longer you use it, it applies more of a weight on you. The longer you fly, the more it'll try and bend you down.
Gravity increases as you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bend you down. Lol.
So yeah, those were the couple few handful of changes we had in this week of patches. They also had a whole bunch of progression errors and stuff they were looking into earlier in the week, which they've now fixed. You're not running into they showed off those bats in the final shape, and then you hit the bats in orbit trying to get to the new activity. That was half our day Tuesday. We would launch the activity, hit a bat, go back to orbit, launch the activity,
got here
hit another
early.
bat error. Yeah, exactly. So that's it's better now. And you would open the chest and just get nothing out of them. And then a few minutes later, it would go, oh, hey, your postmaster, it's full now. All those things we were meant to give you, we gave them to you. It just took 5 to 7 business days.
Oh, no.
They did fix the Dreaming City skybox. Yay!
As prophecy foretold.
It's so pure and black now.
That's the wrong dungeon, stupid.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
You're the wrong dungeon.
This is awesome, actually. It hasn't looked normal for a year. This is really cool.
Raise your hand if you had not ever noticed it looked different at all.
Yeah, if you were in the ascendant plane, pretty much anywhere except Shattered Throne, because it's its own thing. But in any ascendant challenge or Last Wish, if you looked up, you could see the actual areas of the Dreaming City, because it's all just one load zone still. And the black ball around the ascendant plane just wasn't there. You could just see everything.
The fog of war has been lifted.
Yeah, the fog of war has been put back.
That's funny.
So everything in Corrupted, the strike, you could see the tube that the elevator is in.
Can't lie to me. I know exactly what's happening. So Nitedemon, now that you've had your little nap, where should we go next? Should we go to the TWAB? Should we go into the light?
Well, if we go to the TWAB,
should we do a recap?
We skip things. Do we like to skip things?
Yes.
I mean,
fine.
that's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
we'll do a respawn fight.
There's so
We will
many.
skip.
Just
We'll skip the gameplay
understand.
preview recap and the gameplay that we saw and everything else. So he doesn't get to speak about all the new fun stuff that's coming.
Everyone saw the gameplay recap.
Everyone but Respawn.
Have you?
Just Respawn. All you need to know is the final shape is a big pink Titan wrecking havoc on everything. Which I would like to be congratulated for being way ahead of that curve. 10 years ago, I started this. See, I've known the final shape the whole time. I just haven't told you guys. The final shape is a big Titan destroying everything. So thank you.
That's it.
Yeah. Get on my fashion level. Forget your super black shader nonsense. That is not the final shape. That is silliness. You've had that.
Well, that's the
guys, I knew this was coming years ago. I just didn't tell anyone.
Boy, I'm really good. See, you got to play the long game, the really long game. That's why I've been here for a decade. I wasn't going to miss out on this. Respawn will figure out what's happening in June with the final shape.
Okay. So yeah, big pink Titans, big pink Hunters, and big pink Warlocks.
Lots of pink.
Big pink Hunters? I'm not sure that tracks.
No, it does.
There's a picture. Yeah, there's a picture of
that's your requirement.
Don't get big, brother.
Have you played Ron? Have you seen the Ron cape?
Okay. All right. That's a cape. That's not a hunter. All right.
Huzzah! A counterexample. There's a hunters have a couple bit more broad-shouldered arms.
So for anybody and Respawn that have missed the developer live stream that happened this week, just before we went live into Onslaught, we're getting a new subclass. We are getting a new enemy race. We are getting new buildcraft possibilities.
Or is it a plethora of? I mean, it's not a subclass.
Look,
it's a new subclass.
No, you do not argue with Bungie. Bungie said new subclass.
It is a selection of stuff from the other subclasses in one subclass. It's got its own subclass screen and everything. It's its own thing, and it does have unique abilities. So,
and we're getting exotic armor pieces that are class items that have multiple reasons to farm them.
They're way cooler than the D1 exotic class items.
For real. But the problem is now you're going to have a vault full of class items.
But they've given you 100 extra spaces.
That's your problem, not mine.
But I just want to punch an ogre and make him my friend. When can I punch an ogre and make him my friend, Nitedemon?
You can't. That's gone. That's been and gone. That Destiny 1. You have to go back to Destiny 1 if you want to slam somebody to be their friend.
Rest in peace, Iron Lord artifacts.
So this gameplay reveal trailer was fantastic, and I know
nuts.
Some people were saying, we still haven't seen kind of the actual gameplay of story and things like that. But
we don't need the story.
This is what's veteran players needed to see to say, hey guys, look, we've got you covered. You wanted a new subclass. You wanted a new race of enemies. You wanted this. You wanted that. You've got everything that you kind of wanted heading into the final shape. And this new prismatic subclass, yes, I mean, it is a mixture of everything that we've had before, Arc, Solar, Void, Stasis, and Strand, combining together to make one prismatic subclass. But it's something that we can use to take on the Witness. And imagine seeing his little teeny weeny face going, hey, you're wielding light and dark, and I can only do half of that. He's going to be very sad.
It will be very scared.
Yeah. And I think I was listening to, as I do, the Last Word podcast. Fireteam Chat is back as well. I was so excited to see the Fireteam Chat guys back talking about Destiny. I think they finished 5 years ago, and then suddenly they've come back because there's something to talk about in Destiny that's got them all excited. And they may do some more, apparently. But a lot of them were saying that this seems to be the way that Bungie are kind of going with the subclasses going forward. That maybe, I mean, I think Peroty has already spoken about it, that there has been some links and talks of a Destiny 3, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. And this is kind of the stepping stone of a subclass into that, because we've had the light and the dark going through Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, but then moving into a Destiny 3. What's the best thing for Bungie to keep doing rather than kind of having to invent a new light subclass, a new dark subclass?
This is their song, honestly. This is their death throes. This is, all right,
No.
game's on its way out. We're just going to give you all the things all at once. Have at it.
No. But if you look at it from the other side of the coin, of that, we are constantly, as veteran players or players that have played enough of the game to say, right, we want when we get an expansion, we expect a new race, we expect a new subclass, we expect this, we expect that. And this is Bungie saying, well, this is a way that we can kind of give you a new subclass or a new add-on to the subclass. Because you imagine, like we've had with Stasis and we've had with Strand, is that we've had new aspects and fragments given to us, or we've had to earn through story and progression through like the last couple of years to add to those subclasses. So imagine if you didn't have light and dark subclasses as such, and going forward into another, or even forward in Destiny 2, that it is just the prismatic subclass and it is just selectable parts of the other subclasses, and you can build like X, Y, and Z into this. Well, maybe as we get further on down the line, they'll add more like aspects and fragments and other parts of the subclasses as they kind of tune them, so that you can use your whole plethora of like subclasses that you've picked up over the last couple of years. And going forward, rather than having to create new subclasses, or we've got to have a new light subclass, or we've got to have an add-on to like a dark subclass, it's just this one subclass, and they can give us new aspects and fragments that kind of enhance this prismatic build going forward. That would be easier for them to then maybe work on other things in Destiny, like building on the races, or building other races that we've kind of we kind of discover as we kind of do other stuff in Destiny after the final shape.
Yeah, it helps that argument, given that like technically, like lore wise, like there's nothing stopping Guardians from like using all the different like people aren't technically locked to one subclass. Like
no,
pretty much or even just like one class in general. Like the main reason that, well, maybe I guess it's maybe not true for Hunters, Titans, and Warlocks, but like an argument I've seen is that like abilities aren't necessarily locked to one class lore wise. Like Hunters got Blink from Warlocks, but then like with the subclasses, it's like that's mainly a game for balance reasons thing of like
game limitation.
But in terms of being like a swan song for the game, I could definitely see them moving into more of like a balls to the walls sort of mentality with them, like buffing the crap out of everything and having this crazy new subclass and giving us like just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It would make sense that this would be like an end thing, which I'm still not sure it is, because especially, I mean, we still have the 3 episodes to do after Final Shapes. We have at least another year of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the main leak that came out about Destiny 3 was talking about how like it was in development at some point, and the person who leaked it wasn't sure if it still is. Like it may or may not be happening. It was happening at some point. It may or may not still be. But it definitely would be a good like setup, I guess, for if they wanted to make a new game and have a bit more freedom in the like loadout choice with your subclasses and the elements.
Yeah, I mean, like sort of like Respawn said, this does feel a lot like at the end of D1, where they were like, here's all the things we're going to give you, all the strike scoring and the man, and like, we're basically going to give you all these things you've been asking for and all these things we put in the game. We're just going to give them all to you.
People are definitely comparing it to that Age of Triumph.
Yeah. I mean, so it really does have the, again, like not like this is the end, but just like, this is the last straw of this. And I'm like the leaks I saw, it was basically saying like, 2027 time frame for the fight, for Destiny 3 or whatever is next. And and Luke Smith came on and sort of teased, hey, this isn't the end, but without he said
there will be more stuff, and then they didn't say anything.
Yeah, there will be more stuff.
Going.
I don't have time to tell you what I don't have. There's no time to explain. Again, we've all come full circle now. I have no time to explain, but there'll be more. Trust us. So it's like, and again, at the end of the day, this is Bungie's only game. This is their only IP. This is how they make money as a company. So like, until Marathon is a real thing and making money, they're not just going to stop with Destiny and go, we're done now. We're finished because we're going to lay off all of you but like 20 people to keep this game running, and that's it. So, I mean, we're going to have something. Whether it's going to be, what it's going to be. Is it D3? Is it more of this? Is it, whatever we're going to have? Like, they're not done. If for no other reason, financially, they have to keep the company going because there's nothing else yet. There's all this talk of, I mean, there was like some investment from Tencent for some sort, or either Tencent, ByteDance, one of the two, for some sort of mobile thing. And then there's, obviously Marathon is somewhere in the works. I mean, that's still a thing they're working on. But like there's nothing else out
which I think
they've spoken of publicly.
Yeah, you mentioned the leak said that it would be like projected like 2027. You said
that's what I saw. Was just again in that, and I don't know if it's the same leaker. I try to not read a lot of Destiny leak stuff because I'm like, maybe you're something, maybe you're nothing.
Yep.
But I mean, it would make sense. Again, we've got the final shape that's going to release. We've got the 3 episodes, which would put us in about in that time frame, and also.
That would only go to 2025. The episodes are just for that year.
Right, yeah, but I mean, but Bungie tends to work, like 2-3 years ahead of. When we're seeing the final shape, they're already 2 years down the road with early planning for whatever we're going to see in 2 or 3 years. So I mean, it would make sense. They've got on the roadmap. Hey, in 2027, here's what the plan is. So
I feel like, I also think that 2026, 27ish would also make sense from a hardware standpoint because. With what they did with Rise of Iron, where like the old consoles didn't get Rise of Iron just because they were too old.
Yep.
Like I think the PS4 and the Xbox One have definitely lasted, I think, longer than that. Like, and they're still like capable of running the game as it is now. Mostly.
Capable, sort of.
Yeah. Can mostly. You? Yes. Do you want to? Well, that's another question entirely.
Maybe, but I think we might be hitting and vaulting has definitely helped with like keeping space low and stuff like that. But I think at that point, after the game has been out after Destiny 2 has been out for a decade, not even just the whole saga, like I feel like maybe they might need to make a new game and like just stop supporting those less old consoles.
Yeah.
Stop supporting Destiny 1. I would start with that one.
Right. Yeah. I mean again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They cut that early already.
No, they haven't. They still support it.
D1 still up. I mean,
that's true, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, you can still play. I mean, there was just some extended downtime for D1 while they were fixing things. Yeah. I mean, I think at some point you have to then say, D2 is a decade old. It's not just a decade old, but built on decade-old hardware, decade-old hardware requirements and software. Yeah, I mean, there's still systems that are reliant, and like we can't just rebuild the basis of the game that came from Halo 3 or whatever. At some point, just cutting ties and going.
They did a little bit once, and it was really good, but they haven't really done it since.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, at some point you just have to say, again, this is our IP. It's not like we can just bring the game down for an extended amount of time to rebuild the whole thing and go, hey guys, we'll be back in a year and with something really great. Like, at some point you have to start with a modern base.
Yeah.
And then build something new from there.
As somebody that does this for a living, you can absolutely do a side by side. Right?
Yes.
Keep the game running on this hardware. Start building your new game on new hardware side by side. And then you cut one day,
Right. Hence D3. Yes. Yeah. Which is what we're saying. We need to have D3 and not just D2 forever.
If for no other reason, then it would get too big at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it would get too big.
Or you just. That's why they brought in the vaulting system.
Yeah. I mean, it would get too big. You're just trying to support, hacks on top of hacks on top of hacks. Or, hey, at some point you hit something where you can't program around. You can't work around this because you're in a situation where there's some dependency that there is no way forward. There is no upgrade path from here. Yeah. Bring us the new stuff on new modern hardware, on new modern world, and let us go from there. Bring on D3. It'll be bad for the first year. The story will be terrible, and then it'll grow into a very good game.
So before we get to Destiny 3, let's talk about the prismatic subclass. So
good idea. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's not just about remixing abilities, apparently. So you'll be able to break the known limits of the light and dark by entering Transcendence, a state only possible when using the prismatic subclass. By dealing both light and darkness damage, you will charge 2 meters that will fill, and when they have filled, they enable a temporary state of Transcendence that unlocks a new unique grenade ability and weapon damage bonuses. And along with the prismatic comes aspects and fragments to further customize your build and enable you to combo endless possibilities, basically. And the good news is, players only need to unlock these aspects and fragments once to get them on every single class. So Yippee! It's not like, I've got to go and do it on my Warlock. I've now got to go and do it on my Titan. It's just unlocked, done, dusted.
Well, we know you will because you're neurotic, but
I know you won't be able to. They'll just unlock them for you anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
And coming with these, or coming with your new subclass, is the exotic class items for each class. That's going to be amazing. So Guardians can push their prismatic builds even further with new exotic class items coming in the final shape. Exotic class items work specifically with the prismatic subclass and will each roll with 2 random exotic perks inspired by a selection of other exotic armor pieces, even from different classes. So that means a hunter can have an exotic cloak with some of the unique qualities of Assassin's Cowl combined with parts of the Liar's Handshake. Or, on the other hand, Warlocks could get an exotic bond roll with perks from the Apotheosis Veil and the Star Eater Scales from the Hunters. And the Titans could get an exotic mark with parts of the Ophidious aspects and Precious Scars. How do you feel about that, Respawn? We're stealing more of your subclass. We stole your grenades. We've stolen your invisibility that you lost a bet on. Now what do you want to kind of...
I didn't lose the bet. It was more 50-50. You can steal it in one, you can't steal it in the other. So, it is what it is. Well, I mean, they hate hunters, and they want to extinguish hunters by dividing the hunter abilities between the Warlocks and the Titans. That's what's happening. But they don't want to give the hunters any abilities from anybody else. So,
No, they do. They do.
No, they don't.
You always say, I wish that I could have that from the Titan on the Hunter. Now, this could be a possibility. We don't know the full list of aspects that we're going, or the
if they're going to let me do the firewall on a Hunter, it's going to be game over. Okay?
They might do. I
doubt it. Can you imagine Hunters with that firewall? It'd be broken.
Yeah, and and either way, all of the perks that they're going to have on the marks are neutered versions of the main one. So it's all basic stuff.
Are you assuming, or do you know?
No, they specifically said that it'd all be it'd be like mini versions of the original perks to balance having 2 exotic perks at the same time.
Yeah. Now, will it stack with an exotic perk? Like, let's say if we got the Star Eater Scales on the Hunter Cloak, and we put on the Star Eater Scales.
You can only put that on the prismatic subclass.
Oh.
Yeah, that and also it's not like the D1 class exotics. You can only have it's an exotic now. You can only have that mark on at one time.
Yeah, it's like an exotic piece. It's one piece of exotic gear. That's it. That's what you can put on. You could put on the Star Eater Scales instead of the cloak.
The class item. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. It's not like the D1 ones, which they were. I don't even know why they made those exotic. Honestly, it was just for the fanciness of it. I think.
I guess.
Yeah, D1 could.
Well, yeah, basically.
With the developer insight, we also got kind of a preview on the Bungie.net, and we got a developer insight into the prismatic, a deeper dive into it. So it says that you can select from all of the available movements, modes, and class abilities, including subclass specific ones such as Phoenix Dive, Acrobat's Dodge, and Thrusters. And their main goal for prismatic is to enable new and interesting buildcraft combinations that lead to new types of gameplay, so that they can keep the game fresh.
Although a big note of that is that the movement abilities are still not cross-class. So you can't use Phoenix Dive on a Titan, but you can use Phoenix Dive on a Titan. Thruster, yeah. But you can't use Phoenix Dive on a Hunter, but you can use Phoenix Dive on a non-solar Warlock in the prismatic.
And wouldn't dodge anyway.
Yeah,
that's a sign of weakness.
Or with Titan, you can use the thruster, even though it's only an arc thing.
So we're going to get immediate access to this prismatic subclass from the very first mission in the final shape. You'll have access to a complete starting prismatic build with a set of light and dark subclass abilities, aspects, and a full set of fragments. And we have the prismatic hunter. There's a lovely picture of this. And then they go through a list of all the supers that you can kind of have. So you can have Storm's Edge, Golden Gun, Marksman, and Silence and Squall, Silk Strike, and Shadow Shot Deadfall. And you're going to be starting with the Golden Gun and the Silence and Squall. And then your class abilities, you can have access to Marksman's Dodge and Gambler's Dodge and Acrobat's Dodge to start off with. The High Jump, Strafe Jump, Triple Jump, and Blink. And then melee abilities, Combination Blows from your Art, Knife Trick from your Solar, Withering Blade from your Stasis, Threaded Spike from your Strand, and Snare Bomb from your Void. Arc Bolt.
Now, will the Blink still incur that 10-second penalty that you get from the exotic? Or can we just use a Blink like a dodge?
I don't know.
No. Blink, like the Blink jump, not like the Bakris Blink.
Yeah.
This is Nitedemon didn't mention that he's talking about movement modes now.
Sorry.
It's like Arc Blink from Hunter. It's just one of your jumps.
So yeah, these are the things that you can select. So you can select a super. So you have like 5 supers that you can select from. You have the class abilities that you can select from, the movement modes that you can select from, and then you can select a melee ability. So combination blows, knife trick, withering blade, threaded spike, or snare bomb. Your grenade abilities you can select from one of these, which is arc bolt grenade, swarm grenade, dust field, grapple, and magnetic grenade. And aspects is Ascension, Gunpowder Gamble, Winter Shroud, Threaded Spectre, a Stylus Executioner. And some of those you are starting with, but you will kind of be able to build into this. So you could have a Stasis Super with a Solar class ability and the Blink as you jump with Knife Trick from Solar, Magnetic Grenade as your grenade, and then maybe like Ascension from like your aspects from your arc. So you can mix and match.
Basically, it's one thing from each element.
Sort of, yeah. And they said that the new, because we're getting new super elements to Void, Solar, and Arc, that they did kind of show us beforehand before we Arc Hunter, Void Titan, and Solar Warlock are each getting a new super and a new aspect, which all the prismatic subclasses are getting for that element. So like prismatic, like Arc for prismatic Hunter is getting the new super and the new aspect. And same with Titan and Warlock. So that's the Ascension, isn't it?
Yep. Same with Storm's Edge.
Yeah. So your Prismatic Titan, you'll have access to Twilight Arsenal Super, Thunder Crash, Blade Fury, Hammer of Soul, and Glacial Quake to start off with. Your class abilities is Towering Barricade, Rally Barricade, and Thrust. Your movement is High Lift, Strafe Lift, Catapult. Melee is Shield Throw, Thunderclap, Frenzied Blade, Hammer Strike, and Shiver Strike. Grenade abilities is Suppressor, Pulse Grenade, Shackle Grenade, Thermite Grenade, and Glacier Grenade. And your aspects are Unbreakable, Knockout, Drenger's Lash, and Consecration, and Diamond Lance. And then our Warlocks, we have Super of Song of Flame, Nova Bomb Cataclysm, Storm Trance, Winter's Wrath, and Needle Storm, with Healing Rift, Empowering Rift, and Phoenix Dive. Your movement is your Burst Glide, Strafe Drive, Controlled Glide, and Blink, or just fall down a very big cliff. Your melee ability is Incinerator Snap, Pocket Singularity, Chain Lightning, Penumbral Blast, Arcane Needle. Grenades are Healing Grenades, Vortex Grenades, Storm Grenades, Cold Snap Grenades, Threatening Grenades. And your aspects are Helion, Feed the Void, Lightning Surge, Bleak Watch, and Weaver's Call. So some of these do say that they are starting, so you will get a selection of these to start off with. And then as you kind of go through the campaign and we do other things in the final shape, you'll unlock these other aspects and fragments and abilities and supers to then piece together how you want to kind of build into this subclass.
Yeah, so you get 2 out of the 5 for each slot to start with.
Yeah.
And then you can find more of them.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I want the new Titan Super.
Yeah. New Titan Super will probably overall be the coolest of the 3.
That's the one where you throw the big axe, isn't it? And then,
and then you can pick them up.
Pick it up.
Yeah. You throw like 3 of them.
That is going to be that's going to be amazing. And they're all built into these new kind of the prismatic subclass, which is pretty cool. So they've kind of had that in mind as well. Now, I did hear a lot of people say, is this something that they've kind of pulled out just because they've had the delay, or do they have this in their back pocket all this time? And why haven't we heard about it? But it's kind of one of those things you just don't know. And it's the same with kind of this new race of characters that we're kind of getting as enemies. Yeah. It's like, did they pull that out somewhere, or did they have all of this in development and they just knew that they couldn't get it out in time? And things like Onslaught and this Pantheon were also things that were going to be coming out around this time. So we were just going to be flooded with so much stuff. Because if you think about it, this should have been February, and then by now we've had like one of the episodes would have had Onslaught and the Pantheon and all of this new subclass and the new race of enemies.
I'm not sure if that's true. Into the Light was specifically to fill the delay.
Yeah, but how fast can you fill a delay?
But how much of what we now have as Into the Light was originally meant for Into the Light, and what was part of Final Shape that they
I suppose they could have like repurposed some things.
Yeah, because I mean, like all of this, like none of this did they slap together in a weekend. Like this isn't like, oh, we need a delay. Let's come up with a whole bunch of new game modes and new things. Like this is all stuff they've been working on.
It's
Like,
been
none
like
of this
5
is
months.
like none of this is let's slap it together in a weekend. It's all been in development. Maybe it was moved forward, maybe not, but yeah.
It wouldn't have been the new content as we know it, but yeah, they probably like pulled some stuff from Final Shape and reworked it to fit as a like filler.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely
with like a horde mode and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean in a horde mode
and
all this being a massive
plot and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and this being a massive free update certainly hasn't hurt the hype for Final Shape. Getting people back into the game. I mean, this is a phenomenal way to do it. A massive free update that people are really enjoying.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because if they, with what they're giving us, a new subclass, a new enemy race, and new story to kind of round out Destiny, and then we're going to get episodes after that. I think it's all good. It's all content, and it's just fantastic that it's coming. So
any content is good content.
It is. So when dealing light aligned damage, so that's Arc, Solar, and Void, or applying light aligned buffs or debuffs, the light bar will fill up on your super meter, and when
just
you
under the super meter.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm just under your super meter. And when you deal darkness aligned damage, which is Stasis of Strand, or apply darkness aligned buffs or debuffs, the darkness bar on the right fills up. Kinetic damage fills both bars at a reduced rate, but the rates increase when either bar is filled, making a solid choice to catch up on the other side, basically. And when both bars are filled and meet in the middle, Transcendence is available. And while Transcendent, your melee and grenade energies are instantly refreshed and regenerated. Dealing damage with grenade further increases your melee regeneration rate, and vice versa. And your weapon damage is slightly increased, and you're more resistant to incoming damage. I can imagine the builds that we have now, and kind of the ways of picking up orbs, and I'm thinking PvE at the moment. That some of these things you're just going to be you're going to be unkillable with the things that you can kind of put together now with this Transcendence. It's going to be fantastic.
Will they change Hollow Fire Hearts in order to let you fill these even quicker, making that exotic finally useful?
Well, I think the idea is that they'll want people to mainly be on their exotic class items. But if you do spec into having an actual proper exotic from a specific subclass that helps you in Prismatic or builds into one of the elements of Prismatic, it's going to really enhance that part. So,
although you see, Peroty, the Hellfire Heart only works with sunspots, and they did not give Prismatic the aspect to create sunspots.
For now, just wait. Because we're going to see the exotic tuning, and we're going to see all this tuning and stuff when Final Shape drops.
Well, I think that's the point of adding the mini versions to the class item. Like, I think maybe we would get a mini version of Hellfire perk on the class item. Exactly. But they probably wouldn't actually change the main exotic.
So in addition to boost with Transcendence, you'll also have a new grenade, one unique to each class. There you go, Respawn. You get something unique for each class that deals both light and dark damage. So your hunters, you've got the Hailfire Spike. Throw a device charge with stasis matter and solar energy that attaches to surfaces or targets and erupts into a slowing storm. After a short duration, the device ignites, creating a deadly scorch cyclone.
And you can stick it to stuff. They showed that in the gameplay preview. It stuck it to a subjugator.
Do you remember that in PvP, getting somebody with a tripwire grenade like a unicorn?
Oh yeah,
that was always good fun. Titans get electrified snare, throwing an explosive device energized with strand matter and arc energy that detonates in a supercharged suspending burst. The suspending targets take heavy damage over time and change jolt lightning to any nearby targets. And the Warlocks getting freezing singularity, throw a massive void energy and stasis matter. On impact, it deploys a miniature black hole orbited by a halo of slowing ice. After a short duration, the black hole implodes, suppressing and dealing heavy damage to all nearby targets. It's going to be cool. It's going to be so cool. And then we've got fragments. So we have the Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with dark damage grants grenade energy. That's a bit like the perk that we have on the weapons at the moment, isn't it? So I think that would pair very well with some of the weapons that we've got from the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah, it's basically the same version of the origin trait. It's just damage and not kills.
Indomitability. Yes.
Indomitable,
yeah. And I had really good fun trying to say that this week for one of the videos. Like,
which although also there was that's part of a strand. There's a strand fragment as well, where like dealing damage generates grenade energy, which is basically, I mean, that's dark damage. I think a lot of the new fragments, I think there's only a couple that are actually like new. Most of them are just like pretty much expanding older fragments to be more adaptable to different elements.
Just all I've ever wanted. Yeah, I'm really excited with the mix and match and just the neutral gameplay of this, of not having to build into one particular subclass.
Yeah, or like one element.
Yeah,
which is, I think that is probably part of why they made this, is because people have definitely, I think, been complaining about like subclass building has been a lot of encouraging like mono element builds.
Yep.
Of using like all solar or whatever. And so this is obviously like the exact opposite. And just everybody, arrives at the same build. It's like, hey, we're all going to use this. This is the thing we're going to do. It gets optimized pretty quickly.
The number, which people do it with this too, but at least they've got a lot more levers to pull. And again, like this is hopefully just the first version of this. We're going to see more.
We've never had 5 supers in one subclass before.
Right. We're going to see an evolution of this, and PvP is going to be an absolute mess, and it's going to be glorious.
Mayhem's going to be amazing.
Mayhem will be very cool.
Yeah.
I think they very well chose the abilities that they gave to each one. Like there's nothing like, Prismatic Titan doesn't get like Banner of War and Missile and whatever.
Banner of War, Void over Shield.
Yeah.
But you could do that now if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, more fragments. So these are the fragments of the things that you get across all classes. So the aspects are the ones that are kind of unique to each kind of class. So Facet of Bravery, defeating targets with grenade grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. Defeating targets with powerful melee final blows grants unraveling rounds to your strand weapons. Facet of Dawn, powered melee hits against targets makes you radiant. Powerful melee final blows make both you and your nearby allies radiant. Facet of Defiance, finishers create a detonation that either jolts, scorches, slows, severs, or makes targets volatile based on the damage type of your equipped subclass. Facet of Dominance, your void grenades weaken and arc grenades jolt targets. Facet of Generosity, defeating targets while Transcendence creates orbs of power for you and your allies. Facet of Grace, damaging targets with kinetic weapons grants you a bonus Transcendence energy. Defeating targets with your super grants you and your nearby allies bonus Transcendence energy. Facet of Hope, while you have an elemental buff, your class ability energy regenerates more quickly. Facet of Justice, while Transcendence, your ability final blows explode. Facet of Protection, while surrounded by enemies, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Facet of Purpose, picking up an orb of power grants either amplified, restoration, frost armor, woven mount, frost armor, that's a new one, overshield based on the damage type of your subclass. And Facet of Ruin, this increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target and increase the size of the solar ignition. Yes, and they're also going to increase the aspects fragment slots from to 3 to allow kind of some of the builds.
Most of the ones on Prismatic are getting bumped up to 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the frost armor on the Facet of Purpose, we do have that already on Stasis. That's what the Whisper of Rhyme does with collecting Stasis shards, giving you an overshield.
Oh, okay.
It's not usually called frost armor. Like I think that is technically like what the buff is, but like I'm pretty sure the buff is just like Stasis overshield or something.
Yeah.
I
want to be covered in frost. It's a frost armor.
Yeah, which sounds cool.
Yeah,
but it's just an overshield.
And you'll be able to find or earn a total of 21 fragments, a sizable bump over the typical 14 to 16.
So they only showed us like 12 of them.
So yeah, that's that in a nutshell. Did I manage to give that in a nutshell? No, this is me in a nutshell.
I think that's everything.
Help! I'm trapped in a nutshell. I'm very excited for this.
Also you're very excited about meeting the Dread.
I am excited to meet the Dread.
That's going to be very epic.
I will murder your entire family one by one, up to and including all the bats. I like to know who I'm fighting. I like to know who I can murder.
So apparently Subjugators and Tormentors were just the beginning, and they're now joined by the full family of their force of Dread. And the Grim takes flight like a bat with guns, and the screeching voice suppresses your abilities. The husks are melee bruisers that can still try to take you down even after they've been destroyed by unleashing the Geist. The attendants and weavers are the stasis and strand wielders, respectively, who will deal their darkness powers to freeze you in place and pull you across the battlefield. So yeah, that's the new ones that we're going to be fighting. We did see the strand and the stasis ones beforehand, and then we've seen subjugators and tormentors. It's just the other ones that they've kind of thrown in there, which have...
we saw the subjugators initially with like the initial reveal. Those were the new enemy type. And then we got the Grim, or not the Grim, the Husk, and the like attendants and weavers are the new ones.
Yeah, when they were talking about the weavers, they were saying, like one weaver, not so bad. Multiple weavers pulling you around the battlefield like you're on rubber bands, that could get real fun.
Oh yeah, they're giving them crowd control.
Look, exactly. I'm telling you, you can't get me if I'm way back off in the distance with Tiku's divination that can hit you from miles away, and I can just plink, plink, plink with auto aim, and then just get one of you with a headshot, and everybody explodes. I'm just saying, I've managed to go through 2 expansions now, doing the Legend campaign with Tiku's divination solo with no issue.
Well, but see, now they can freeze you, and then they'll pull you towards them.
They can't freeze me from where I am. They can't freeze me from where I am.
Demon shooting him from D1.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, you're not going to use that sword build where you just kind of hold the guard and walk through everything?
No, because I can be frozen with that.
Yeah, and he has to have people, actually doing damage.
Yes.
That's when he brings a friend and says, I'll be over here, or rather, you be over here, I'll be over there, tanking all the damage and just going, come at me, bro. And they'll go, okay, I'll try.
You said friend, but it sounds like Patsy.
What's the difference?
Well, Peroty, Patsy sounds the same.
Yeah, same idea.
But yeah, we will link the Into the Light developer, or not the Into the Light, into the Final Shape developer gameplay preview and the 2 blog posts with that.
Yes.
So if you are
out of the light.
Yeah, out of the light into your arms.
To your loving arms and your big, pink, powerful Titan.
And
powerful warlock. Pink, powerful warlock and hunter too.
Pink and powerful.
That is the final shape.
Now we've covered that. Do you think we could get another recap of This Week in Destiny from Moira? Give us your quick
from
recap.
Me. Oh, yeah. I mean, all right. Let me pull it back up.
And then we'll destroy that at the end and just dive into it for another half an hour. But let's see what you got, kid.
It was basically just everything they've covered in the past 3 weeks with Into the Light being out, and then this new prismatic stuff and the Final Shape showcase. Pretty much the only actually no, there was some new stuff in here. They got some wallpapers from the Into the Light opening cinematic that they had on Tuesday, which was very cool, very nice cutscene.
Can we all agree that these wallpapers were 20,000 times better than the wallpapers that they tried to give us last week?
Yes, they heard our cries, and also
they were
that blade barrage goes hard.
Yeah, all these wallpapers are super sick.
I was watching the reveal, and just that blade barrage hunter. I'm going, you know what? That is the power fantasy we all want to have.
That guy kicks ass. Too bad he's a statue.
Yeah, but he's a cool statue.
They did give us a little bit more stuff about Pantheon, in terms of the overall mechanic structure and how it will sort of grow over 5 weeks. So every time a new boss, it'll start with 4 raid bosses when it first comes out on April 30th, and then every week they'll add a new one until the final week they'll add 2, and the total will be 8. And every week the power cap will go up, starting at -5 power, and it'll go all the way up to -20 power, which is the equivalent of contest mode. And through various triumphs and things, you'll be able to get adept raid weapons, deep sight raid weapons, and even exotic weapons. And then also there's there'll be a number of triumphs tied to it, which will give you a guaranteed adept weapons from a couple of them. And then also each run of Pantheon will get there's a unique emblem to grab.
Yes.
Over each of the 4 weeks.
More raid weapons without raiding, you say?
Well, no, it is raiding because you're getting. It's just they took the raid encounters and they put them back together, and supposedly they'll be different somehow than how they are currently. They're mixing them up in some way or another. We're not quite sure of that yet. The title for it will be called Godslayer, which is probably a lot of people will probably be going for. It's pretty badass. I think the one other big thing they talked about in this blog article was some HUD updates. People have been asking for updates to the like buff UI for a really long time, because currently we can only see 4 of them at a time, and that is not enough between raid mechanics and player buffs and everything going on.
Yep.
So they're splitting it, and it's because the blog says that they have over 2,000 player-facing buffs and debuffs that can appear on the HUD, from subclass verbs, armor charge stuff, pervading darkness, or random things like triangulating signals on Neomuna. So they've had 2 goals with the final shape HUD improvements, which are visually prioritizing important buffs and increasing the number of buffs that can be shown at a time. So they've introduced 2 new buff channels. There's the critical info channel, which will be right up below the health bar, like right where your like the little respawn restricted icon is. And then the weapon channel, which is directly above the super meter, like even lower than the current buff list that we have. So the critical info at the top will have like pretty much stuff like raid mechanics. So they gave examples of like Deepstone Crypt's operator, and they have a couple pictures of like the field of light from Ron and the unstable light from Golgoroth. I think was probably one of the bigger motivators for that. And everyone being like, "Oh my God, you're unstable! Run away!" Even though you can't see that buff because it just gets pushed down. And then the weapons channel right above the super bar will have your 2 most important weapon perks going on at a time, which is probably enough. I feel like you only have 3 weapons and only so many like perks that can be active buffs, so that should probably be enough. But they'll be right above the super bar right there. They're changing the prioritization of various buffs to be more just precise on what's important. So they're prioritizing from most to least important is activity information, which is just anything that like guides you through the activity besides critical stuff, which will still be at the top. Second to second gameplay stuff, which is things like armor charge and ability cooldowns. Short to medium gameplay choices, which are again things like armor charge, or no, not ability charge, sorry, but stuff like being amplified. You don't really need to know how long that lasts, or stuff like aspect and fragment cooldowns. And then finally, least important is passive buffs useful for learning or confirming intuition, which is stuff like ability region buffs and stuff that boosts stats, which, like they mentioned, is that's useful if you're new or just trying to figure out how a build works. But if you already kind of got your stuff figured out, you don't really need to know stuff like that. They are improving the appearance of a lot of their buffs for like the second time, I think. They changed the looks of all the subclass buffs a while back, but now they're making it a little bit more uniform. Buffs and debuffs will have a thick line weight on the top or bottom of them to help it make it easier for colorblind people to see what it's actually doing, which will probably just be useful in general as well. And then additionally, the last thing they're doing with the UI is they're moving the timer of all the buffs from the right side to the left side. So you'll always be able to see how long something is lasting, irrespective of how long the name of that buff actually is. And then the final thing they mentioned on the UI update is that initially people spotted in the gameplay preview that they also had a right buff channel on the right side of the screen, which is one of the things that Joe Blackburn mentioned doing when he posted some video on like his Twitter a while ago. That was one of the things they were thinking about, was like, oh, have a left side and a right side. But with the top channel and the weapons channel now, it was just too many new things to look at once. So they've decided to push that out, just release the top one and the weapons one, and then maybe as people get used to that, they'll reconsider adding that right side back. And then otherwise, it's pretty much just coverage of what's been going on. And the other stuff, Kilts for Kids, their fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald House Charities, is back for some time. I don't think they actually mentioned when it ends. Oh, on or before April 30th.
There you go.
I need to give them $30. I need that emblem.
For the emblem, it's a very nice emblem. It's the heart of a Highlander. It's got like a plaid pattern and some cute little animals on it. It's a very cute emblem. I might get that.
As soon as Peroty said he needed it, we knew what it looked like. You didn't have to explain.
I need the sheeps. I need sheeps.
Is that what those are?
I think so.
I see. That would make sense. They're adorable. So
sheep,
between
Highland cows, something.
Between now and the 19th, which is next Friday, you can help towards Bungie's $77,777 goal using a link they have linked here in the blog, and cast your vote under Team Bungie. And then there's various tiers of prizes for various sizes of donations, and then you'll get everything by April 30th in terms of rewards, because they have to get the information back from the Ron McDonald House charity. It's not direct. And then just regular, usual known issues and the art of the week and movie of the week. That's the whole blog.
So that's a glimpse into what this could be, what you could experience. And now we're going to give you the 3-hour cut.
Yes,
same information.
Sponsor, go listen to the Bungie breakdown over at the Blueberry Lounge,
or
and you'll get
ours.
You'll get slightly less rushed versions of that, ideally every week.
But you won't get any stories about airlines or travel or what Respawn had for breakfast. I mean, that's what the people are here for.
You know what? That probably sounds a damn spot more interesting. But some people like their news, so that's what I'm here for. If they want stuff, they can go listen to the main Blueberry Lounge. The idea was that I could do the new stuff, being somebody who's more informationally inclined anyway, and that gives the main podcast the time to focus on more like slice of life stuff and just what they've been doing like that. So you're right.
Sweaty Spooks is lazy. I got you. I'll let him know.
No, it's not that he's lazy, but just that they would often like forget. Like they would have, updates and things in their show notes, but they just wouldn't have time to talk about it, or they would just forget in talking about whatever stuff with their guests. And so they're like, why not just outsource that and we don't have to worry about it? Yeah, and everything gets covered.
Yep, exactly.
Whereas we just keep going. We just keep going. We make sure that we've covered every single detail.
That's true, because this has been.
These guys are now panicking because they're like, he hasn't covered everything in that 12. So what's he now got planned for us to after Moira disappears?
We embody the Respawn. Why live in a land of ore? We give you the and.
Yay!
Because we've been recording for 3 hours? That's a pretty long time.
Yeah. I mean, we can always go over the new buffs and the prioritizations of the new buffs appearance as and when it actually does come into the game. If it's something to be talked about, because
you'll give a review.
Yeah, it's coming and it's going to be there. But what you did miss out is that the weapon rotations.
I did. I neglected to mention that. That's something you can see if you go listen to my actual podcast episode.
There you go. You get more information there.
All right, man. You get one selfless plug. You're kind of pushing the limit. All right, brother.
So we will I will try and make sure that I remind people in our breakdown videos or on the podcast each week as these kind of come up to say, get in there and do them now because they're going to go away the next week. So don't worry about it. There's nothing. If you've missed it, you've missed it basically. But there are stuff coming up that we will remind you about.
Oh, I see. You're saying when that week happens, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is the last week. This is available. Yeah.
You should go do this now versus, oh, you should have gone and done that then. Like the one that disappeared April 9th, that you should have gotten it for otherwise.
April 9th is this week. So that's like this week is the last week to get it.
Nope, it's over. But by the time people hear this, it's over.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, well, yeah. Depending on when you release this, you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
By Monday, it'll be gone. I mean, you can try.
Monday will be the last week for it, or the last day.
But I mean, they have to get through 4 hours of show before they get to it. So
okay.
By the time they hear it, it'll probably be Wednesday, and they would have missed their shot.
Look. Well, let's give them a fighting chance, Peroty. Let's give them a player support report.
Well, if people is Moira going to leave us now?
No, I was just joking that Moira's leaving you. Moira's here for a long time. No, actually, Moira can go whenever Moira decides to go.
Well, I'm totally free. It's early in the morning. I would like to eat at some point, but I mean,
do what Respawn does. Just mute yourself, go and grab something to eat, come back and listen to us, and then chime in with your mouth full when you want to say something. Yeah. Isn't that right, Respawn?
And then preferably don't mute yourself. Just eat on mic so we can try to guess what you're having and if grits are involved.
Oh well, no, I'm in the dorm, so I'd have to go out and get food. I don't want to walk around with my headset on. I'd lose connection eventually, at least if I wasn't looking totally weird walking around outside with a headset on.
Once again, that's not very Respawn.
I've done this show in an airport. Okay. with an actual microphone in my hand because the phone one was all jacked up. So I had the microphone hooked to my phone and then my headset hooked into the microphone. So I'm walking around the airport with a microphone and people are like, what's going on?
Well, hey, at least then you could look like maybe people would think like you're like a reporter or something.
I can 100% tell you that what I was wearing does not give a reporter vibe.
He was also screaming about something involving, Destiny. So
that's true.
Just every time you've heard Respawn scream about something, just imagine a man in an airport wandering around with a microphone doing that. And it just adds to the visuals so much more.
Yeah, it enhances it's like a special effect.
Exactly. Well, this week's player support report brought to you by the Bracetech Osprey rocket launcher, which if you're hearing this before Tuesday reset, this is your last chance to get it before it disappears. And if you don't, then you didn't. But that's okay.
It's the last chance it's in rotation, and so it's the last time you can get the adept one. You can still focus it if you have it already.
Yeah, but you don't need it. Let's be honest here. No one is sitting here going, if only I had the Bracetech Osprey. That's what I want.
Damn it, man! I missed out on this cool rocket.
Yeah, the Bracetech Osprey. That's what everyone's running.
It's not bipod, man.
Yeah, that's a thing. Those are words. But guess what? Super Black Shader heist planning ongoing. Inquire at Drifter. So Respawn, you have to go speak to the Drifter to get your Super Black Shader.
And you can steal it.
I think he's planning to steal all of them. And then so you have to play Gambit and reset your rank at least twice in order to get the Super Black Shader.
He's keeping Super Black hostage in his rewards track.
He has made a deal with Shaq. He's like, Shaq, listen, you have enough things to handle. Let me take this one off your hands for you. I got this.
So, is he giving it to us before Shax does, or what are you talking about?
No, it's just a joke in the blog.
He's taking it from you, so you have to go play Gambit.
You can imagine
it.
Okay.
It's about believing.
Yeah, just like I believe that with the launch of the update 736, in-game chat has been updated to auto join players to chat channels by default. Players will also be automatically joining the voice chat when in a fire team or fire team lobby. Players can view and update their settings in game by going to the settings and turning that off immediately, because nobody wants that. Although I guess if you're those people playing on keyboards, you can text chat people. Otherwise, if you're trying to text chat people on console, just don't, because we have to basically stop playing a game and be in the middle of an activity. I don't know how I can reply to you in a social space. Yeah. Probably because I've turned all of that off. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. And don't. No one wants any of this. But that's also why they wanted you to enter your birth date. Because if you're below an age threshold, they're not going to turn that on for you by default, because they don't want young people to be inundated by all of that. So, and again, you can turn that off immediately as you see fit. But there's also some known issues, because we told you what they fixed. There is an Onslaught bonus objective UI, which may overlap with the player buffs on the side of the screen.
I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why that's a known issue, because that's just something long objectives do anyway.
Well, now they're aware of it. Until now, blissfully unaware. Now they're aware of this issue.
They're like, oh, this is happening here.
Also on Vostok, there's certain enemies may teleport and appear behind the ADU on Vostok. So be sure to check all around the ADU.
They're hacking,
because there might be one hiding back there. Again,
they're freaking out if something's near it, so it's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, they came from Gambit, so they're just teleporting now. Again, because this is just Gambit. You can't tell me otherwise. Some items.
You're not telling me anything. So how's it Gambit?
Oh, sir, have you met the ADU's batteries?
Have you met? It goes from across the map, brother.
Have you met the moats you have to pick up on the ground? It's Gambit.
I haven't seen any moats though. You mean the one bonus activity or whatever?
See, you're doing it wrong. Got to pick up the moats. You got to dunk the balls in the bank. It's all Gambit. Just like some previous season pass items in Eververse display the incorrect seasonal icons. And I know you're all keeping track of those. In an Onslaught, players who spend a little too long in the pyramid... Players who spend too long within the pyramid ship can miss the portal to return to the ADU, resulting in them missing the next purchase phase.
Well, look at that.
Hey,
issue has been addressed.
You found it. They are aware. They're not saying they're going to help you.
We didn't take that long to destroy the boss.
You spent too long within the pyramid ship. So if Destiny has taught you anything, Nitedemon, don't go too fast and don't go too slow. You need to go just right.
Oh well.
And players who have their text chat disabled will have the text chat UI disappear entirely instead of displaying a disabled message. So if you turn text chat off, you have turned it off for good. You've deleted the code from the game, and you can be blissfully unaware of anyone trying to text chat you, and you're just like, I can live a happy life now. We're good. So those are the known issues they told you about. As always, there's a known issues article. If you're going, my bug isn't here, well, go check the list, because there's a big list. Well, there's many things.
I have a bug that I'd like to pick apart or bring to the attention of Bungie. And this was... Sorry?
Is it lice? You have 8 kids. I'm surprised the bug isn't lice.
No, it's not. So this is from Joe Martin's 1983 over on YouTube. Now, he was responding to a video that we made on how to do Iron Banner, or Iron Banner Explained, which goes over the game modes. And he was saying that, hey, I've all the Iron Banner weapons and it only counts 14. When I have all the focusing and legacy weapons, I really don't understand. Is it some secret exotic weapon? Can you please help? So I kind of clarified what was he kind of talking about? Is he talking about the Triumph? And I said that, there's 22 weapons available. Does that not kind of count? And he was like, no, all the weapons that are available for kind of the focusing ones that are available on Saladin's track, on both the legacy box and the ones that you can kind of get now, he's collected every single one of them. He's got all those weapons. And he can't get the seal, which is Ormond's Taste, which is acquire Iron Banner weapons. Each weapon must be unique to the rules count the total. And you need 15 in total to get the Ormond's Taste to then be able to gild your title for the Iron Lord. And he can't do this. And we did a little bit of investigation. And I looked over on Reddit, and I also looked over on the Bungie forums. Over on Reddit, even like a couple of days ago, people were still posting about the Ormond's Taste Triumph bugged. And Temporal Coyote was the one I think started it. Goes over all the weapons that are available and doing loads of different things of kind of re-getting a multi-mac, getting like grabbing a hero's burden and doing different things and still nothing. They can't do anything about it. And I think even over on the Bungie forums, somebody's put, I think just down again 95, Ormond's Taste bugged, Iron Lord's unattainable. And nobody from Bungie seems to have replied to this. And it seems to be, I mean, it's quite a big thing that, there's like 20 odd weapons and a couple of them don't count. People are stuck at 14 out of 15. So I'm putting it out there. If anybody at Bungie does listen to this show, please, could you get either in touch with us or do something in the TWAB next week and address it for the Iron Banner that is coming up at the end of this month? Because people are getting very upset about it. They're even saying they're going to drop the game. It's not happy. So I just want to.
It's a little drastic, but people are people.
Just do it.
There's nothing more infuriating than trying to do a thing and the game's just like, no, this is impossible.
You don't count.
And you not knowing, am I doing this wrong? I'm trying to attune this weapon and I can't. Or is the game wrong? Going, well, no, you're doing everything right. We just don't want to give it to you and make you happy.
Yeah.
Just like, and Bungie just like has finally. I saw one of the little tooltips this week as I turned the Xbox on this morning. Is there's now finally a page to tell you what's disabled in the game, so you don't have to guess or rely on their Twitter feed to tell you. You can now go to basically bung.ie, their little shorter, your URL shortener. So bung.ie/disabled. So let me check if it's disabled. Nope, it's disables. So bung.ie/disables plural. I don't know why it's disables versus disabled, but it'll take you to the Destiny 2 disabled item list, which is buried, in the forums where they have a list of things, which right now the Cascade Point weapon perk is currently disabled because it's breaking everything. Now you can still hang out at twitter.com/Bungie help, and they'll tell you when the thing is disabled. But if you're going, hey, is it still broken? Disabled? Is it still actually working now? There's now an actual page you can go to look and see, yes, this is currently turned off. That's why you can't use it. Which is, again, just, a thing I wish they would have had years ago, but it's nice that they finally have it now. Along with like Demon's moan about Iron Banner.
Yeah.
We also have.
Oh, what do we have?
I'm pretty sure there's a roundup of reporting.
that
a man with a lovely alliterative name is going to tell us all about. Assuming he has a computer or something in front of him.
I do.
And is back in his room now. With his grits.
No grits.
Oh, devastating.
Right? Tell me about it. All right, Paul Tassi. Wait, you can't reset shacks? I thought at least you'd get more Ingrams and Brave token bundles. However, you cannot, not being able to reset your shacks rank has to be an oversight, right? Seems a bit silly that you straight up can't get Ingrams after hitting Legend. Looking at the data in the API, it doesn't look set up to reset at all. Most vendors have had extra items for after a reset, and Shaxx does not. Full stop. Bungie Help says it was previously announced that the Trials map for this weekend would be Rusted Lands. Let me guess. It's not Rusted Lands, right? Hold on. The intended map is Burnout and will remain active until weekly reset. Well, there you go. More shenaniganizing. The Ritz says, hi, at Destiny 2 team. If you choose the I'm experienced option on a new account, you cannot access the Strike playlist. And we're stuck in Guardian Ring 4 because you can't commend people in there or do bounties. Wow. That's awesome. Good job, Bungie.
Sad times.
Paul Tassi, again, it took me at least a few runs to get this, but if you throw the balls at the ADU when it's full, you will overheal for 45 scraps per ball, which really adds up. I guess that's where the duping comes into play, huh? Beautiful.
Well, duping is just useful for healing it.
Yeah, no, it's nothing to do with duping. Just while the ADU is full, you can overheal it. You can give it.
But also, sure, keep duping, overheal it, get more scrap.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. But just, basically throw the balls at the ADU while it's full. It will be beneficial. It's not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know. I wasn't sure about that.
So T says, beautiful, 10 out of 10 to this amazing hunter with looks like pink fairy wings coming out of his back and head.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, pink magical hunters.
Yeah.
So we have I Really Tired 93. Nice name. Still nothing on if this works in PvP, referring to prismatic subclass. He said, Destiny 2 team says you can in fact use this in PvP. Good luck balancing that.
It'll be fine.
Okay. Carmageddon again says, did the PvP strike team stop unconditionally when you told them that? LMAO. Now, he's talking about the strike team. I was thinking of the balancing team. Like imagine the meeting they had when Bungie's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is gonna happen, and just slides a piece of paper across the desk. Like,
that's why they picked the abilities that they did.
So you/Destiny team, I guess this is a Reddit channel, I guess.
Yep.
/u/Destiny 2 team on. I calculated the odds for the Envious plus Cascade plus Blade and BNS Edge Transit roll.
Bait and switch,
thank you. Which is a 0.5% out of hollow foil Edge Transit drops will have it.
Basically, this is a roll a lot of people have been going for because it's a very good roll and are unhappy about the low chance of it has to drop. And the Destiny 2 team says...
We saw this discussion and wanted to let you know that we're currently evaluating the interactions of this combo. While we don't have a specific change currently planned yet, we wanted to give a heads up before anyone grinded too hard for this rare perk combo that it's likely to be altered in the future. Now, let's stop at this sentence right here.
So don't bother because we're gonna change it. So
yeah, because the issue with it being so rare is that Envious and Cascade Point both roll on the same column, which is only possible to get 2 perks with the shiny one. And so the idea would be that, you can build up a magazine with Envious, swap to Cascade Point once you're full, and then just like spam bait and switch shots, which would be crazy. But it's only because of how the shiny rolls work. You can only get it on the shiny one. So it's like super duper rare.
Okay. But as far as rolls go, like, Bungie's always saying that there's no weight to these perks, but yet, how many times have you gotten not only the same perks, but the same exact roll on a weapon while trying to grind for the one that you want? I
think you're unlucky, man.
I mean, if there's no weighting, then you could possibly get the same roll over and over and over again because every roll has the same chance every single time.
Yeah. That's not how odds work. It's like saying the lottery
that is the
same number each time. It would be wildly different because you have
it would be improbable, but it's possible.
Every number has the same.
Would be statistically impossible.
Not impossible, just unlikely.
Improbable, but not impossible. Yeah. I could roll the dice 6 times and I could get 6 sixes in a row. the odds of that happening are extremely low, but it could happen.
That's a 6-sided die, right? We're talking about combos that have way more perk options than that.
Still,
you know?
I think I have gotten one identical roll to something I already had, like one time in this game.
There are streams I've had where I have been like, for example, the Guardian Games, and I'm trying to get that stupid ass submachine gun, and I got the exact same rolled submachine gun 3 times in 3 rolls at one freaking sitting.
5 for 5.
There's no way to
roll, or just the same 2 perks.
No,
I think you're just an unlucky man.
Well, that's
if it's the same 2 perks, it's the same roll, dude.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Though, is it just the 2 perks, or is it the other parts of the gun that are also
identical? The whole gun. It was almost like I duplicated it.
Okay.
Just full stop. And somebody said it's because you're doing it too fast. You need to slow down.
That is possible.
You also have the worst luck. That's well established.
Yeah, I'm usually okay when it comes to legendaries. It's exotics that give me a hard time.
Well,
usually
your exotic bad luck has been buffed.
No, don't shut up. No.
yeah. If you're getting so much shit for the legendaries, maybe your exotics will be better now.
Yeah. Maybe it's shifted.
We're investigating this is Bungie help. We're investigating an issue where acquiring a new light kit will override players' currently saved loadout of the corresponding subclass.
That happened to me. It was very annoying.
What does that mean?
So the new light kits are a brand new thing they just came out with, where basically you can go to Ikora and instead of getting like a couple like aspects and fragments from the new light quest, you can buy a kit from Ikora for one of the subclasses for their class. You can be like, Arc Strider, Gunslinger, Nightstalker, one of them. And it'll give you a little synopsis of like, this build is designed for doing this thing. And it'll give you like a bunch of blue gear, a bunch of guns, and like all the aspects and fragments for that class. But so like, for example, I was on Hunter and I got the one for a Gunslinger just to see what it did. And it like totally broke the loadout I had on. Like it actually removed the super from my loadout, which you can't usually do. Like my loadout didn't have a saved super, so it wasn't even swapping it. Like I was doing Onslaught, I think, or something. And like I said before, I mainly run Tether, but I tried swapping to Nighthawk, and it just didn't work because it swapped my armor, but my subclass didn't change. So I had to take a bit to like remake the loadout with the proper stuff before actually using it. So it was very odd. Yeah.
Well, Bungie has replied to this. Said we've resolved the following issues. Repeatable Onslaught bounties will no longer decrease total available bounty capacities and increase the activity complete timer upon completion of Onslaught. Players must open all available chests to receive their rewards. I don't know how these tie into each other. Are they just like one after another? Is that what happens?
It's 2 different issues, yeah.
There's 2 issues people were having that they've resolved.
Yeah. But you won't get booted from Onslaught before you can open the chests.
Yeah, people were completing Onslaught and finishing it, but not looting the chest, and the stuff wasn't going to Postmaster or anywhere else. They just weren't getting it.
But because they were just running out of time to actually open them.
Right. Yeah.
Oof.
It was kicking them too soon.
So we've also been investigating an issue with today's Tigris Fati emblem, Twitch dropped during the Destiny 2 The Final Shape developer gameplay preview. Players who were unable to acquire the code during the stream may use this code to redeem it on their account on behalf of once today's service issues stabilize. The code is...
Yeah, Twitch was having issues the other day while they were doing their stream.
Okay.
Well, so was I think it was mainly like just Destiny having like being spotty with all the error codes and stuff. So as consolation, they gave us that emblem for free.
So if you want the Tigris Fati emblem, which matches the isn't that match the veteran shader that we got?
It technically does. Yes, it's the tiger.
Yeah, the black tiger stripe camo.
You can be a kitty cat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want that, the code is 6 Alpha Juliet X-Ray Fox Romeo -9 November Delta. There you go.
Bungie.net/redeem is where you would put that code.
Yeah, what he said. Are we okay? K. This tweet has a picture of a Charles of Osiris activity description, and it says crossplay is required. Matchmaking unflawed open still. Matchmaking flawed weekly performance. I don't play clouds enough to know why this is a problem.
It's not a problem. It's showing you that it actually tells you, is what we touched on earlier.
Oh yeah,
it
I
actually
guess
tells you,
trials would be where it was like most incorrect.
Yeah, like it actually tells you what matchmaking
That's
you're
good.
going to encounter when you go in. So instead of guessing, hey, trials uses this, and you go this, and then you get 6 replies all saying something different. Now you can go actually look and
the matchmaking used to just say like skill based,
right, which was wrong,
or like connection based or something. Yeah.
And now it'll actually tell you, hey, if you're in this pool, it's this. If you're in that pool, it's that. So it's
good.
Getting better.
And they did that for all the other modes as well.
Yes.
So being like rank based or open skill or whatever.
Yeah, they put information in the game.
That's good.
About the game.
That's accurate.
All right. Blueberries.gg says 134,000 peak players with the release of Into the Light, and has a little fire icon. The last time D2 had that many players was over 6 months ago with the release of Crotazen on September 1st, 2023. So 134,000 peak players? Does that mean like
on Steam
at one time?
Yeah. Yes, on Steam alone. And the second picture there is a response to that from the guy who runs GM Report. GM.report.
Okay.
Because one of our questions is always like, well, that's the Steam numbers, but how many total? Basically, what percentage of the community is that? So 134,000 on Steam, but how many overall?
15 million. So I should say 1.15 million players in a single day. That seems like a more significant number. Hold on, let me check. Let me get my calculator. You take this.
Well, right. Well, that's the thing. Like the Steam numbers, anybody can go look at. We don't have
Steam numbers are just the most like easy to access.
Yeah. I mean, this is again, the guy who runs GM Report, who interacts with the API, going and being able to pull, this unique exact membership ID.
He's probably because they're probably looking at like activities done basically.
Yeah. I mean, he can look at your membership ID. I assume is each individual person. We all have a particular ID, and it's saying how many uniques we're on. Well, 1.15 million people, in different people logged on and accessed the game that day across all the places you can play on all the platforms. Again, because we have the Steam numbers, but it's always like, well, how many people total is that? And it was interesting to me that it was just, such a small percentage overall of, the Destiny community, which, I mean, I think we all sort of knew, a lot of people play on PC, but that's certainly not everybody.
Yeah, if it's 134,000 versus 1.15 mil, it's only like 12% of the overall population on PC.
No, because that's just Steam. You could also get Destiny on non-Steam.
That's true.
PC.
Yeah, but Epic Games, I'm sure, is
that's an even smaller portion of the population. Yeah,
it's still you have to count them, man. They matter.
All right, call it 15%.
Is there? Hold on, let me see the one guy that plays on what was that Google platform that failed? What was that called?
Stadia.
Yeah, where's that one Stadia guy at? Nitedemon. There's Nitedemon.
Nowhere, because
you're right though, because you're right, because PC has Steam, Epic Games, and Microsoft Store.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, I would wager that the other two are a rounding error.
It's around 15% probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine you're on Steam or you got it for free on Epic, and then maybe you've got it there. But I feel like the other two have to be a rounding error, especially. Again, I would love to see a better breakdown of just overall, like the PlayStation versus Xbox versus PC numbers, just for curiosity's sake. Like, I'm sure PlayStation is still the larger one. But anyway, I just think it's interesting because we always hear the Steam numbers, this, that, and the other. Well, here's a glimpse into the total numbers of players.
Yeah, Warmind.io used to have those numbers, like it used to be per platform, and then because you had the Steam numbers, you could figure out the rest. But now it's just like global. So I think something in the API changed to not be platform specific. Yeah,
probably, and like I said, like that's why he's probably looking at the membership IDs, going,
well,
I can tell individual people, but I can't tell where those individual people are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still fun, still interesting. So yeah, you put out a big giant free update to your game, and surprise, people are enjoying it.
I know, especially it's crazy, right? What a concept!
A free update with a good loot pool that make veteran players go, oh, I know what that is, and other players go, well, there's a lot of hype around this. That seems interesting, and you make the whole thing free, and people are like, oh, look, everything's happy, and then everyone goes and reorders Final Shape again and goes, yeah, prismatic, and Bungie has saved mission accomplished. A Nitedemon, have you wandered off?
No.
Do you have more videos that you have watched that you wish to tell the people about that we haven't already told the people about?
Okay. I do. I do have videos that I'd like to tell people about. And one that I'm going to give you instead of telling you the information, because we've now got to like 3.5 hours of a podcast, is a video from Scarrow9 that goes over the Pantheon Raid Gauntlet and Absurd Rewards explained. And this is all from the tweet from Harry over on Twitter, who's gone into the API, found all the different things, told you all about all the different bosses and all the different escalations of damages or like damage phases that you have to do. And then the rewards and then the triumphs for it. And rather than me kind of read it to you, you could watch a video from Scarrow because he's put a lot of hard work and effort into that. So I would go and check that out. That would be in the show notes. Also, we have Out of Bounds, the Hall of Champions from our friend Froggy, 618-157725. Any kind of place. I just knew that Froggy would be getting Out of Bounds in any kind of news space. So go and check that one out. The Hall of Heroes. Why has he put Hall of Heroes? He's put that wrong on his. Time Sausage Gaming. Time Sausage Gaming has put Hall of Heroes, but it's Hall of Champions. Secret areas and Easter eggs. So you check out that video if you want to have a look at all the different kitty cats and things that are hidden in there and little vents that you can kind of walk through.
Yeah, Hall of Heroes is the space on Neomuna.
Yeah, so he's got that wrong. All intrinsics for the new Whisper of the Worm mission guide from Aztecross, which we did mention. Messenger on Steroids is Elsie's rifle from True Vanguard. So that must have been the video I was talking about. Easy Legend on Onslaught from Cool Guy, which is the build that we were talking about with Precious Scars. We have Onslaught gets annihilated by this frozen build for the Warlocks, which was by Matix. The Easy Solo Legend Enemy Whispers glitch, Easy Solo from Cheese Forever, and Onslaught Boss Cheese Spots from Cheese Forever as well. And then we have Matix has the build that incinerates, which is the build that I've kind of been running with. It's an old build that he kind of pulled back out and just goes back over. So yeah, that's mine, I think. And I apologize if I've missed any out that I kind of wanted to go over. But I mean, I did want to give people like God roll guides of the weapons and things like that. But there's so much information and there's so much to look through and there's so much to play in the game. And now you've got a 3.5 hour podcast of us to listen to. Why should you kind of do all of that?
Yeah, while you do that. And I've basically watched a lot of the same things. Fallout Plays put out a video. I mean, everybody and their brothers put out build videos. Basically, the long and the short of it is, well, I mean, everybody, because we're not streamers or YouTubers, as the theme song says. But basically, if you have a good build you've been using, it will probably still be good. Just spec into maybe some more survivability and ad clear. And Blueberries.gg did put together, like, they did a big revamp of their site. So they have a real nice, like, hey, what's active this week? Where do I want to go? So after you've watched the 3-minute video, you can go see that in text form. And if you're like a certain someone who doesn't believe in YouTube, they have a written, pictures you can go look at for God roll guides, or, just what is the God roll of all of the Brave Arsenal weapons, for one for PvE, one for PvP. Infographics. Yeah. So if you're just like, give me a picture to go match, Blueberries.gg has that. Then someone did ask, is this more, keyboard, mouse and keyboard, or controller based? And they're like, it's more mouse and keyboard based. But again, you can get an idea of what you're looking for. And I'm sure everyone and their brother will continue to put out guides on what weapons you should be chasing and what rolls you want to get on your lovely shiny weapons that you want to hang on to lord over respawn when you get the one he doesn't have. Yeah, but that's it. There's lots of other videos. They're out there. Go watch them. Go enjoy them. Mm-hmm. I think this is enough from us. So I think this is where I say thank you to all you lovely human beings who've gone to patreon.com/TTH and gone, you guys do a fancy show and we appreciate your fancy show. And here's some money we're going to throw in your direction.
You guys are pretty cool.
You guys are cool. Just like, Zep Orbit, who we try to threaten that man with a good time. Can't be done. The Outer Dance Troupe of the T-Rex King, the Scarlet KM, Melamala, Dedicated Wham 64, and Renard Calant. Phenomenal. Just phenomenal dancing. The Grenade Throwing of Carter 2782, Golden God 1562, Noble, basically Assault. Fire Squad 1688 and Cutters 105. Phenomenal. Phenomenal grenade throwers. Who's happy with them? Shax. Very happy. Just like Deacon down there with Dimwheat, Gravy Jeff, and PP Pipe working on the Day 1 raid team. So thank you to all of our lovely patrons. If you'd like to be a lovely patron, patreon.com/TTAH. And I think this is where I also say thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty, and Nitedemon, your hunters, or no one responds in real life, and Moira. We are everywhere you want to find us. Go to a search box, type in 2 Titans and a Hunter, you will find us. If you want to find the email, 2titansandaHunter@hotmail.com. Find this show wherever you get your podcasts. Go to YouTube, find the guides every week, find the live streams, find the videos, find the entire episode. If you're like, I'd like to listen to this while there's some gameplay in the background, YouTube's got it all. And if you're going, didn't I hear that cool thing you said would be in the show notes about that build or that guide or that thing you pointed to? 2titansandaHunter.com, where you can find every episode, every show note, and I do mean every show note. So, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening. And when Respawn is finished his travels, twitch.tv/no-one-responds in real life, we'll give you a live stream of this show and whatever other madness that man gets up to. And twitch.tv/2titanshunter. Sometimes they're streaming there. Go there, hit the follows, hit the bells, and you can find out what's going on there and what's happening. And Moira, if people are like, listen, I enjoyed the 3-hour version of this, but what if I wanted like a 5-minute, a wrap-up version? Where can people find you, and where can people find, the quicker I'd like to get on with my day version of this?
So the Bungie, my Bungie breakdown, and by extension the Blueberry Lounge, I believe is also available in most places that podcasts are. That's not really my area. Native is the one that publishes them. Personally, I am around. I have a YouTube channel. It's just Moira. I am Terra_Moira on Twitter, and those are pretty much the two main places I am located. But otherwise, just come in maybe on the Discord for the Blueberry Lounge or TTH. Come hang out, have a good time, answer some questions maybe.
Excellent. Nitedemon, Respawn, and any closing thoughts for the people, or are you already in Onslaught, murdering people?
Bring more Onslaught. Bring more Onslaught. Give me more Onslaught.
Have you guys
Give me things to slaught.
Have you done the legendary Onslaught yet? For the
this is not the time for the questions. The questions after the show.
Questions
Say goodbye to the people.
Okay, deuces.
There you go.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Now your questions.
No, because you mentioned that you got to level 50. What was it, level 50 on the Dixie mode or the?
I was just doing normal because I was just playing on my laptop without communication with blueberries. Is that right?
No, I'm just wondering if normal is going to be easier, because I can only get to 45 or 46 on the hard mode.
Normal is probably easier than legend.
I think it's in the title.
What he said.